Are now listening to
Journey for Two podcasts. Let's check it out.
And we're like, this would be the perfect space to do like a studio.
Sure.
Oh shit! You guys got a perfect space. Yeah. You guys making a studio?
Well, Josh has a whole upstairs that's basically like a blank slate. It's like an old church, but the whole interior is just empty.
3,200 square feet of nothing.
Yeah.
Whoa! I'm in commercial real estate. I know how much space that is.
How big that is.
It's pretty big
Me,
space.
I'm like, what? It's a lot of
Pretty big
space.
space. I would rent that for. I would start that off at about $4,500 a month.
Here in Omaha, though.
Yeah, here in Omaha, right here in Omaha, $4,500 a month. So where's the space at that you're talking about?
Sterling, Nebraska.
Sterling?
It's a town of about 400 people.
Yeah, so it's much smaller.
So, town of 400 people, I would say, okay, that price is going to go down to like $1,800 per month, maybe. No, that's really cool. So you have a church? You're a pastor?
Nope. I bought the building. I'm actually I'm in law enforcement over there.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you protect and serve.
For now.
Yeah?
wants
What's
to
the
get
best thing about being a cop?
I don't know. I go to work. It's something different every day.
Sure.
He's actually the sheriff.
You're the sheriff? How cool. No, seriously. Okay, so like, I know Sheriff Aaron Hansen personally here. I'm very close friends with the police chief in Lincoln, the ex-police chief, Bleimeister. We're personal friends still as well. So like I have big connections with law enforcement. So as the sheriff down there, the sheriff of these parts or whatnot, like, what is it like winning an election for sheriff?
Well, I could tell you, I got appointed last year. I have never.
Did you pull the Kamala? You just got appointed. They just
No.
you didn't no primary or nothing. They just
Nothing. So I've never wanted to be sheriff before. I was a deputy for quite a while, and about a year and a half ago, I was playing basketball in the morning before work, trying to stay in shape, and I ended up having a complete tear in my shoulder and had to have it reattached. I was going to be off work for between 5 and 8 months, they told me, and I can't afford to be off work that long. So about 3 weeks after I had surgery, the sheriff down there texted me. He's like, "You want my job?" I'm like, "What?" So I called him up and I was like, "Are you quitting or what?" And he's like, "I already turned in my resignation."
whoa.
So I went down and talked to him, talked to commissioners, talked to the county attorney, and next thing you know, here I am.
Wow, that's cool. So seriously though, as sheriff of a space of 400 people, right? What's the biggest challenge to keeping public morale or public kind of respect in law enforcement?
I don't know. Like with what we do, generally the people we deal with, a lot of times we see them at their worst. I talk a lot, so and I've been around the community for quite a while, so I get along with a lot of people. I think as far as like my job goes, the biggest thing is dealing with employees in jail and every once in a while deal with a complaint here or there,
Sure.
But, when I was a deputy, it was like completely different, I'd get out, and I was still that guy that get out and talk. I'd kind of watch the school traffic. I would get out and I'd talk to the teachers and the kids and stuff like that. I haven't done that so much since I've been sheriff, and I should do more of it.
Yeah.
But it was a lot different as a deputy than as actual sheriff.
Sure. Okay, so how long were you a deputy?
13, 14 years.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you've been in it.
For a while.
Have you ever had a gunfight?
No. Trained for it, but hopefully I never have to be.
No, that's great. That's great. Have you had a situation where you feel like it could have been a gunfight, but you de-escalated it before it got to that point?
I don't know if I can say that. I mean, we've been in some pretty sketchy situations, but I don't know. I've never felt like I'm on the edge of pulling the trigger or anything like
Sure.
that.
You went on to a murder scene though. You were
Yeah.
first on.
Yeah.
First on a murder scene.
Double
Yeah.
homicide.
Oh man, that sucks.
Scared the crap out of me.
God, that
He had to
sucks.
clear it by
I can
himself.
imagine.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's like the crime show queen.
I love true crime. I'm like obsessed with it. I probably should have went into criminal justice, but yeah.
Eh,
Josh wants out of
you're
it.
not missing anything.
Yeah. I listen to podcasts, all the shows, documentary, all the things. Yeah.
So how'd you two meet?
So we met through a friend of mine. Well, kind of a friend. My next door neighbor. I bought a house just east of Lincoln in Palmyra,
Okay, yeah.
and my next door neighbor was friends with Josh, and then me and Josh was talking about starting he wanted to do a gun show, and he's like, hey, I want to do some gun stuff. I kind of, want to get out of this job and do this full time because I want to do this. And
Yeah.
me and Josh just hit it off, and I was like, oh, I can help you with that. I know a little bit about it. And then, we hit it off from there, and Josh is a cool guy. He's about biggest heart you've ever met, and he's a solid dude. Josh used to be a baller too. He played football for a long time. He was a tight end.
So shucks, were you a Husker?
Nope, I wasn't. I played with the Lincoln Renegades. It was a semi-pro team.
You were playing real ball, like knock your head off ball, like no health insurance type shit. What the
Correct.
he would have went pro too.
No,
No help.
no. He was pro. I
Well,
mean,
yeah, he was. Yeah,
I'm shit. That's pro. Here's what I'm saying. Vershawn Jackson, you know Vershawn Jackson?
I know who he is.
Okay.
I don't know him.
So at some point he had something to do with the Renegades. At some point he was coaching. At some point, maybe it was Renegades, maybe it was another team, but I'm pretty sure it was the Renegades. Anyway, he's like, hey, I was playing flag football all the time when one of his other little leagues. He's like, hey man, you should come out, be a receiver for us, and be. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna go. I'm not having health insurance like that. I'm not gonna go out there and get killed. I mean, you guys kill each other out there.
It was pretty rough.
Intense. Football is
But it's like you guys are more mad than the NFL guys. Like, I feel like you have something to prove or something.
Yeah, you kind of do, but I played a couple years of indoor football too, and that indoor is way more rough than what we were doing there. Because you got the walls and everything else in there.
I mean, it's smaller too, like smaller
Yeah.
confinement. It's just head on a swivel is tough.
Yep.
Tough. So so this is a guy's guy here. It's a man's man.
but Josh is cool. Josh is cool. He's wise beyond his years. So that's old soul, I guess. is what
That's
you would
dope.
say. Yeah.
Super dope. So then y'all met, and then you just started the show together. I mean, the show's super successful. I mean, so many views, a lot of followers, 16.6K followers. 16.6K followers. I mean,
Yep.
But your views. I mean, a lot of those videos are getting tens of thousands of views. What's the secret? What's the sauce? Like, saying, what are y'all doing?
Yeah, I think our highest video is at 6.5 mil now.
wow.
Something like that.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, we started a little over a year ago, and it's a whole different game ballpark. You have to do different things than film, for instance, when we do our film stuff. So you're really going for a different kind of audience, and but it's like any other YouTube channel. What reels people in is controversy, and especially with anything dealing with guns, YouTube can be pretty harsh on you.
Yeah.
But
Have you ever been suspended, or have they ever fucked with you?
no strikes yet.
Trying to keep away from that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you never know.
They remove your videos, or have you had videos removed?
Not
No.
to that.
Not yet.
That's good.
We went to Georgia recently for IB888. He's got about 2.5 million viewers.
Something like that.
Yeah, and they had a YouTube rep there, and so their YouTube rep for YouTube is also the YouTube rep for Jake Paul, and he handles all the gun channels, and he handles Jake Paul, and he handles the more controversy channels that YouTube is kind of iffy on. But he's ex-military, I think special forces, I believe, or he was an MP or
I
something.
can't remember.
But anyways, cool guy. So YouTube does have people that represent more controversial things
Sure.
there, and that do try and help out. I mean, obviously, you want to follow the rules as much as you can.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just a game of, we'll see if they hit us on
see.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's been a whole learning experience from the beginning. Lucas has got a ton of experience in like film and stuff like that, you know, and he comes in, he does a great job editing, great job with the cameras and things like that, telling what we should do for the videos, and we get some great videos. And from the beginning, you know, like I feel like I've been kind of what's hanging us up, you know, and stuff like that, because I'm not used to this kind of thing. I don't know how to act and think and stuff like in front of the camera, because you get in front of the camera and you don't think the same, you know. And
I struggle with that too.
anyway, he's done an amazing job. But like last January, I was doing some stuff, and I don't know where it came from, but I started putting some shorts on there, because we were just doing videos up to that point.
Yeah.
And I started putting these shorts on there, and I was getting like 4,000 or 5,000 views on a short, like right off the bat. And I'm like, dang, maybe this is where it's at. So we started doing a little bit more, and it's still kind of hit and miss. We still got like a ton to learn, but like he said, you know, it seems like a lot of the controversial stuff is what you get more views on, or stuff that people are really wanting to see. And
when you say controversial, what do you mean?
Like stuff that are safety or issues or things that people
Anything
they've got an issue with.
Yeah, people really want to be YouTube warriors. So if you do anything that they think is not the correct sequence of doing something, especially when it comes to gun stuff, they're like, "Who trained you? How dare you? Where did you learn? Like they should take your guns away from you." And like, you know, we'll do fun things and different things. You know, we have a cannon launcher that we shoot cans out of, and we do just different fun things. It's not just, you know, your basic firearms. And where Josh is learning, I'm still learning, because it's kind of different. It's not like the shooting and a lot of editing. It's just kind of like shoot, slap it on there, and do it real quick. So I have a couple of videos that are kind of cinematic. One with Kate. We did Blue Collar Ballistic Blonde. I did like a fun little, like, we shot for like 4 or 5 hours, and I threw something together that was a little bit more cinematic. That was fun. But those videos do not get a lot of views. I think that one maybe has, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000 views. But people really want something to argue over, especially in the comments. If you can get people arguing in the comments, like your video, the algorithm is like, oh, these people are engaging. And once you get that engagement, your video is going to fly through the roof.
And I don't know if it's so much the fact that people want that. It's the fact that when they start engaging, then YouTube promotes it more with the shorts and stuff like that. So then it starts multiplying. Then you get more people seeing it. Then you get more comments. And
so like somebody says like, "Hey, you dummy, you loaded this stupid." Then it just starts a whole like firestorm of.
I got a buddy, him and I, our channel and his channel were 800 to 1,000 views last fall, about the same time. And he had a customer, he was telling me, that came in and was like the worst customer in the world. He had a problem with this, he had a problem with that. He was trying to argue on the price, it was a long process. This went on for like 4 months. And so he did a video, and he just called this dude out by name and everything on his YouTube channel, and just dogged on him the whole time. And anyway, he went from like 800 views to like 26,000 views in a couple days, or not views but subscribers. Subscribers,
like 75K,
and he's at 75,000 subscribers now
in a year,
just because you just got on there hating on somebody.
And then
it got people engaged where they're like commenting on it, and once they start commenting on there, then it just starts multiplying.
It's like rat beef.
Yeah, they put it in front of more people.
It's that same thing, like YouTubers go for the shock effect because it gets people engaged. That's the only reason, you know? Like the fixed Mike Tyson fight.
Yes. And I bet on Mike Tyson like a fool. Like I just wanted it so bad.
It depressed my inner child seeing him hold back.
Yes.
And people were like, no, he's just old. I was like, no, he's biting his glove.
Yes.
And then I was like, watch his training videos, and then watch the video where he's like, and he stops himself a couple times. I'm like, bull.
He did that. He did.
Mike Tyson now could still compete. I don't believe
he would have knocked Jake Paul out if he really would have went.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he threw a punch after the second round. He literally, seriously, like didn't throw a punch.
He threw 16 punches that connected the entire fight.
That was the first and second round.
That's not Mike Tyson.
Nah.
So I think he's still got the power and stuff, but with his age, he ain't got the stamina.
But the speed though, he had the speed.
He was there. No. Here's the thing. Like training. But there was many times where he he dipped that thing
Yeah.
and didn't come back. He did, but he
just stopped it.
did. He stopped. He
I was
stopped.
like, no.
You know what I'm saying?
There was a
He saw it.
contract, and I guarantee it. Like, I guarantee that what my hope was is Mike Tyson was going to say, screw this contract. Because he's talked about money before.
That's what I thought.
And he said the happiest he was is when he was poor. And
Sure.
But I know he's got to make money from other stuff. But I was
His
like,
family and all that. Look, $20 million to last the whole time is what he got.
What I heard, if he'd have knocked Paul out in the first round,
Zero.
he wouldn't have got nothing.
Yeah.
he would have gotten
Second
zero.
round wasn't much,
Yeah.
and then it started going up as you went.
Yeah, exactly. So like second round, he maybe got $1 million to knock him out. But say, what? You gonna knock him out for $1 million and brag, or you gonna get $20 million and be like, yeah, I lost?
I don't care. I wanted him to do it.
I
I
me
think
too.
we all did.
I was like, it tarnishes his legacy.
I wanted him to do it so he would win me like $300. Like, okay, I wanted my little money. Okay, so
I'm not a Jake Paul fan, but I did get a little respect from him, what he was talking about at the end there and stuff when he was.
what he
talking
said
about-
then?
Oh, he was talking Mike up and stuff like that at the end
yeah.
and stuff. He was being a pretty decent sport, and that could have been staged too. Who knows?
Sure.
Yeah.
But at least he did it.
Please don't kick my ass. Thank you for not ruining my day. Mike Tyson would have tossed that
Yeah,
kid.
no, he
I don't
would've.
care what anyone says.
would've.
I saw him hold back so many times, and I was like, no, Mike, destroy him.
He did hold back, and he took some of Jake Paul's best.
That's why you got to get a slapping in at the weigh-in.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, babe. You're right. That's why I got the slap in early. You got the slap in early on
He
your
already
ass.
knew it was gonna.
He's like, hey, go get a punch, this fool.
Yeah, you know, slap him now.
That was good. I like the slap at the weigh-in. That was fun.
We needed that win though for him. Though. We needed that as a culture of people. We needed Mike Tyson to beat him. Like we could have all donated $1 and he got us $20 million. I would have.
You're right. You're right.
We needed that win so bad. We could have made him a billionaire.
Bro,
For sure.
okay, so why didn't you tell me that like 2 weeks before the fight? Right? We could have started a GoFundMe. Be like, Mike, we
Mike,
got
we
you.
got
We got you.
Got
Don't
you.
worry.
Mike just beat his ass.
Wreck this kid.
Jake would have called the fight off.
He would have.
Probably. Oh yeah.
Oh, he would have made an excuse.
And I know I sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it did look like there was a time in the second round where they clinched and Jake says something in his ear and the Mike just tapped him on the back like, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I got you. Now, I know I sound stupid, but
No,
I
I
felt
totally
like it
get that.
happened. I felt like it happened.
I saw that too, and I was like,
saw
yeah, I got you. I won't hit you anymore. Let me just bite on this thing for a second. Let me bite on it. He's mauling his glove. I just got a mouth fetish, a biting fetish.
He was in it. Big Tyson, man. But yeah, Tyson's gone through a lot. It's so great to see him where he is now.
Yeah.
In that peace and in that space that he's in now. That's, evolution of people is really cool when you can evolve and become, truly someone who you are proud of. I think that's really cool because Mike, he can be proud of himself now. He's a good father. He's, good husband and all these things, which is so cool. It's so much better than being world champ. Being a father and
No, I agree. He's just the people's champ, right? Like everything in
He
my
still
day,
can't
I was like,
He still
can't
can't
wait. Every hour I was counting down, I was like, Mike Tyson gonna beat that kid's ass. Mike Tyson gonna beat. And then I saw it and I was like, Mike. I was like
happened?
summoning Muhammad Ali. I was like, Ali, come to him as his force ghost and just be like, throw the punch. Throw the punch.
serious.
I knew with his walkout music, I was kind of concerned though, because
What was it? See, we were at a bar in Clearwater watching it, so we couldn't hear it. We were just watching
I
it
was watching it.
from afar. But what did he walk out to?
if I was the guy who was making his walkout, it was just like a basic rap song. I don't even remember. Like it's not even a popular. I'm sure it's popular.
It was like
amongst some people.
non-memorable.
Non-memorable.
Okay.
But like, if I was the guy making his walkout music, I would have like tied in a bunch of like Ali stuff and like I would have tied in a bunch of like really amping people up.
100%. Like made it a moment.
Yeah, I would have made it a
moment.
moment like in people's minds forever, and like that didn't happen. And so I started to be like, why wouldn't they do that? Like, if I was a promoter, I'd be
Sure.
like, like
They can't hype him up for that loss.
What's his name's?
Yeah, it was Jake Paul's
Production.
whole thing. So what did Jake Paul come out to?
Remember he was like riding in a car, wasn't he?
I
That's all I remember.
I don't remember the music. I just
no,
remember the car.
Yes.
he came out. You guys remember?
With his brother.
What's the Vegas movie where Mike Tyson punches out Zach Galifianakis? The Hangover.
Oh yeah.
He came over to that song from The Hangover.
Really?
Where he was like,
Oh,
you know?
man.
And I was like, that's kind of an insult.
Oh,
And
man.
that was my problem is Jake Paul, yeah, he said some nice things about him, but he was kind of dogging him the whole time.
Yeah, he was.
And then his brother said that shit at the end where he's like, who's next? And he's like, his brother. And his brother's like, I would dog walk you, Mike. And I was like, no, you wouldn't.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I'm still sour
Yeah,
about
these
it.
people. I feel you, but like I said, I lost money and I was like, oh fuck it, I guess Mike has to get his. But yeah, that's a brilliant idea. We should have did the GoFundMe. Should have did the GoFundMe for Mike.
Next time.
I've been following Mike for the reason I'm so sour about it is like he's had the ultimate like comeback, like someone who was on this end and like regained faith and life and family, losing his daughter. He had this great arc, and I was like, this would finish the arc. It'd be the perfect movie.
Yeah, what a movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a movie. Wow. What a movie. Now that would have been huge. So real quick, when it comes to guns and women, right? Because my wife, she's getting into guns now, and we're in the market for a gun for her purse. And I think we're getting one. We have a cop buddy I just bought another gun from, and we're going to go try out one for her or whatnot. When it comes to guns for women who want something compact, nice for the purse, easy, point and shoot, what would you suggest?
I don't know if I have a specific suggestion. Like it's going to depend on, like how it feels on her hand for one. I mean, like you're going to want some good quality. You're not going to want to go out and buy the cheapest thing you can find. But it's going to make a difference on how you're going to carry it. It's going to make a difference on how it feels in your hand and how it fits your hand and stuff as well. Mm-hmm. I've got huge hands, and so there's a lot of guns that like just don't feel right in my hands, you know. Mm-hmm. And if it doesn't feel right, you're going to pull it out, and it's not going to be right at your point of aim right away when you're shooting and stuff as well. So it's something you might have to try some different ones out and see what you like.
Okay.
And I've got a number of different ones. If you guys want to come up sometime,
yeah.
You can try out some that I've got, and you both can, and see what you guys like.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Heck yeah, we got to get what do you call it? Get on. We got to make a catchy thing for when we're on your, at the range. You have to record us. We have some type of catchy thing,
Heck yeah.
I couldn't think of anything fast, but I was trying to think of something cool to say.
Something on the whim. Okay.
I don't know. I'm a journey for two gun style or some shit. So do you find, like, when it comes to your audience, right? Do you find a lot of women on your channel or getting more interested in guns? And
I don't know about so much on the channel. I think there's probably some on there. I know I used to teach a fair amount of concealed carry classes, and there was quite a few that came through the classes and stuff for that. So they're out there. They might not watch the videos as much as the guys do and stuff, but there's definitely a lot of call for guns for women and stuff like that in training.
A lot of women like to a lot of women ask to come shoot though with us. Quite a few.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would personally recommend like a Glock 19. I think that's like the perfect lightweight, awesome gun. But yeah, a lot of women, I think more and more are getting more into guns. I mean, some women absolutely not, but I either find that they're really interested or not interested at all. There's really no in between.
Yeah, I used to be, I don't know, totally against guns. I mean, I guess I never cared if people had them. Like, I grew up around them. My dad, avid hunter, lots of guns. But I just never wanted anything to do with them until recently. I've just, I don't know, feel like it's a skill that's needed. You need to know how to use a gun. And, yeah.
No, I love guns, and I like them for hunting. I like them for self-defense. Of course, I got to have them for my job. But I hope I never have to use one in self-defense.
Right.
Yeah.
I train for it and want to be ready, but I hope I never have to.
Right.
And I hope like,
Same.
even if you guys get one, I hope you guys never have to. It's not like most gun owners I know, they're not like looking to go out for a gunfight or anything like that. They're wanting to go out and shoot. They want to go hunting, different things like that, But they also want to have a way to protect themselves or the family if they ever need to, So like I said, it's one of those things I hope nobody ever has to use for self-defense.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have if you need it, you know. If you don't have it, you're kind of screwed. If you have it, at least you got something to protect yourself with.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Especially with kids. I think, I mean, there are people who are irresponsible, but cops are never going to come in time to save your kids if someone's breaking down your door, you know?
Sure.
So as long as you have it in your house in a safe place, that's my thing. But yeah, even starting to teach kids at a younger age. So you see so many accidents where kids go over to their friends' houses and then they're playing with their friend's parents' gun and they shoot themselves. If that kid's trained from a young age.
Yes.
And like people are always like, well, then that kid will become a school shooter. You know, they ever see our videos, some people will be like, oh, future school shooter in the works, you know? And it's like, how many trained kids with guns do you see doing that? And it's very, very few. I don't know of many at all, actually. So it's not like, usually, because if they respect it, then they understand what it actually.
That's what I was going to ask.
What it can do.
Do you think more training breeds more respect?
I think it does. And with kids, though, it's not always that, too, because kids, you can train them. I think you still need to keep them locked up, though, because they get a friend over there. They don't think as good when they got other people around. So it's something you still got, even though it's something that you trust your kid with, he's been trained, he's safe, and things like that. When there's other people around, they don't think as good. And that goes for other people as well, older people and stuff, too, but kids especially.
Yeah. I mean, peer pressure is a real thing. I mean, shit. Yeah. I mean, get me out with my boys. Let me see. No, I'm just kidding. Kidding. But seriously, I think that a lot of times, right, that's where it goes wrong, right? Is when the parents don't do their freaking job and lock up the gun correctly. I know, I mean, our kids are older, right? But I know we have a gun safe and we have the little lock box or whatnot too. But I've been watching like Bonanza so much that almost just take off my holster, put it on right on the coat hanger, like what I'm saying, and go right out of it. But it's like being responsible all the way and putting that up. It's something I even have to do more of too. I'm over here like Bill Cartwright, just Ben Cartwright, just dropping the shit off right there at the thing. I shouldn't do that. No.
I love that you love Bonanza.
Oh, I fucking love Bonanza.
I think he's seen every episode.
I have seen every episode
of every season.
Yes, multiple times.
Yeah.
It's my go to sleep like show. It's
nice.
If before my career is over, I want to make a badass western, like something dope. I'd love to have a western series. Just be like, I think people would watch a Bonanza of this day, right? I mean that's what Yellowstone is trying to be, right? Yellowstone is a western. That whole Yellowstone universe. Now just take that shit back to the 1800s again and just do it again. Like I'd love to do that shit. I love it too. But really quick, here's why Bonanza is so great. Because they do teach these like wholesome values and things, but at the same time, they also were like good progressive. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was like what I like out of progressive feel, right? It wasn't stupid progressive, it was just like good progressive for the most part. I don't know.
No, I
like Bonanza.
It has good morals behind it. I think that's key with a lot of older TV shows that we miss today is like there's like most episodes that are about like learning something morally to improve yourself. And now it's not that anymore. And not that, everyone's morals are different, but there are certain moral truths like help your neighbor, like how to treat your kids, like if your kids mess up, this is how you handle it. Like there's just things that are instilled in certain episodes. That's why I like Star Trek.
Sure.
Because every episode was like, listen, this is like a new moral thing that they have to face, how to deal with it, what the outcomes are, good or bad. And we're just presenting this to you, and you can take it either way. This is the way we decided to go with it. Yeah. But
no, 100%. 100%. A lot of shows these days it's fucking just reality TV. Like, it's like
reality TV or comedy.
Yeah, but like Real World and
just like for a laugh,
or like whatever the Real World is, like the Survivor or the Big Brother, or Roses. What's the Bachelorette? Bachelor. Like what are you learning from the Bachelor or the Bachelorette? Like,
and most of that's scripted too.
Oh yeah, Yeah, but there's no moral lesson. There's no.
Not only is there not any morals,
No,
it's very
it's
immoral.
the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's complete opposite for sure.
Weird. But a lot of women like those shows. Did you ever watch those shows and be
Zoned out.
like, that's like, like,
My mom used to watch them all the time.
Yeah?
I think she still does. Maybe. I
and she has a husband.
don't know. Oh yeah.
Happily
They've
married.
been married for 40 years.
Would she approve of trying to find a husband like that?
No, probably not. No.
Is it kind of like just like watching like a car crash, right? Like it's like you can't
So
turn
entertaining,
away
you just can't look away.
like all these girls
You have to
fighting.
know what's gonna happen. I don't know. I don't know. We used to watch Survivor together though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you into that?
Yeah. I don't know why.
I never got into like
It's weird.
Wipeout. I like Wipeout.
I love Wipeout. Yeah, I love
We did
Wipeout.
use
yeah.
the wipe.
Yeah.
We did watch
Wipeout's good.
Wipeout.
There's got to be more shows
Those
like
ones
that.
were
Yeah,
so
Wipeout
funny.
is so good.
The interviews when they interviewed people right before they go, this is the best part.
I fuck with Wipeout.
Yeah.
Wipeout
I
is
like
good.
Wipeout. I was like somebody win some money, do some crazy stuff, get hurt, whatever. I like Wipeout. That's my show.
Physical comedy.
Yeah. It's like the Three Stooges, like obstacle course Three Stooges. Like I don't know, something about Wipeout.
I think most of those shows can be good in their first couple seasons, and then they're like, how do we take it to the next level? Naked and Afraid. How do we take it to the next level?
Yes.
Elder, Naked and
You're right.
Afraid. Survivor. How do we take it to the next level? Like, we'll put a bear in there. Like,
How do we make it more intense?
yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
No, that's wild. Now, okay, so hunting. So do you do a lot of hunting?
Not a lot. Growing up, I did a ton of hunting and fishing and stuff. And since I haven't done a whole lot, I've done some deer hunting. Kind of started getting into coyote hunting quite a bit here in the last year and stuff like that. So I'm looking at doing more of that this year. Not only is it going out there and it's getting rid of some of these predators for the farmers and stuff like that too, but it's you get out. I got a thermal, so we go out in the middle of the night to shoot coyotes.
Oh shit!
Okay.
So you get out there. It's a nice, crisp, clear night in the middle of the night. You don't have electronics with you. You got fresh air. It's relaxing.
You and
it's
nature.
refreshing.
That's dope. That's dope.
So I don't care how tired I am the next day or anything like that. You go out at night. It's amazing.
That's dope. That's dope. Lucas, you hunt too?
I don't do a lot. I'm gonna start doing some more. Like, I have one of my best friends. She had a litter of kittens. Not to get too sad on you guys,
Hunting
but the
kittens?
mother and all the kittens besides one, she got one saved. Coyote pack came and destroyed them, and so I was like, Josh, we should go out there and take care. A lot of people are like, how dare you shoot an animal? Like, I'm like, these coyotes will kill your dogs, your cats.
Yeah.
They will, if they find a small child by itself near the woods, they will take the child down. Like,
real.
they're nasty. And they're not like a dog. People, they look like dogs, but they're nasty. And they'll eat babies. So it's like, as far
Fuck
as like
those
the other,
coyotes.
yeah. So I'm like, yeah, let's go take some of these coyotes out, because they're just a terrible thing. Same with like wild boars. People see all these videos of wild boars getting shot, and it's like, those things are horrible.
They're
Bro,
mean.
I feel like I saw a wild boar like demolishing a leopard.
They're mean. Yeah.
What? It was wild. Hey, brother, don't be afraid to hit the left hand out to grab that bottle.
thanks,
and
man.
you
I
feel it.
appreciate
Just bang.
I'll just take the bottle.
Just
I'm like,
bang. Just get it in.
And I guess
Like,
what
Lord.
coyotes don't really have predators that go after them around here, huh? So they just
Wolves
multiply.
would-
Mountain lions.
I guess
lions?
mountain lions.
There's a
okay.
mountain lion that was just spotted right like a couple miles from my house just a
Really?
little bit ago. He was walking through town and they caught him on a Ring doorbell camera. Yeah, so there are mountain lions around here now.
mountain lions are, that's scary.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
That's scary, man. Like they just, like, when you're hiking, and they're just chilling up there in the thing and they see you, you don't see them. You have no idea.
They just look like a rock. And they can just sit so still and like hunch down.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I love hiking. Like we go to everywhere we can in the nature and hike and shit. And
Nice.
it's just, but you're really, you're at risk.
You need to get one of those. They have those hoodies, or they have the backpacks with faces on them. And so when animals, they come at you from behind, but if they see a face, they won't attack you
approach
because they
it.
think you're
Like,
looking,
you're looking
at them.
Oh, that's smart.
So a lot of hikers will have like a face on the back of their
So
Never heard
smart.
of that.
That's
is
so smart.
genius.
Like, I love it.
There's good influx in
Is he looking at me? No. Is he looking at me?
lion
No.
attack. Oh,
Did you ever hear about the zebra experiment?
No.
no.
You never heard about that? So
I don't think so.
these scientists were studying zebras in Africa, and so it's in herds you can't tell which zebra is which. So they're like, hey, we'll tag the zebras, and so they started tagging these zebras, and there's so many zebras. So what they did is they would tag the zebra, and then they would take a ball with a stick and they'd hit it with a red paint, right? Like just a dab of red paint, and all the zebras were getting eaten that they had tagged by the lions, and they're like, why are they only going after the zebras we tag? And what they realized is that the zebras, the reason for their fur and their skin is that they blend in together. It's hard for the lions all to lock in on one zebra. And so what they were doing was doing the lions a favor, because when the lions hunt, they communicate. They don't know how. But all of them were like, let's go for the one with the red
One
dot
with
on
the
it.
red dot.
Because we all know what to do.
Right.
So that's how zebras, when they run in a herd, they don't, each lion's like, which one are we going for? Which one?
Right.
But they all
Because
knew.
they can't get it alone. Yeah.
It's like a school of fish.
Yeah.
Like
So, yeah.
He is a wealth
crazy.
of knowledge. I'll start listening to a story and I'm sitting there waiting to hear a punchline or something every once in a while because I don't know if he's telling the truth or not. But no, he's so smart. I hear stories like this all the time.
That's
cool.
wild. Damn, so the zebras just
Yeah.
getting demolished
I
because
just thought that's
scientists just tag it, just putting a target on their back. Just
Literally
Gosh.
a bullseye.
Can you
That's
imagine
cool.
being the zebra next time? He's like, Mark got the red paint.
like
Right. Oh my gosh, the whole pack's starting to realize. Oh no, he's next.
You're
so
screwed,
where's-
Mark.
Dog, that'd be scary, bro. So where's PETA when you need him? Like, that's
Not
a
in
PETA
Africa.
problem. That's a PETA problem right there. Like, they're doing other shit. No, that's wild. So when it comes into the gun stuff, like Second Amendment wise, and from a law enforcement, I guess, perspective as well, Nebraska has gone away with you have to have like a concealed carry license to conceal your gun. Anybody who can have a gun can just now walk around packing. Do you like that, or do you not like that from a law enforcement perspective?
I like it. I think I've had here. Excuse me.
Good.
I had I got into a discussion with another officer one time, and I was teaching concealed carry classes at the time, and we had to have the permits at the time. And anyway, he's like, "Why are you teaching these people how to these concealed carry classes? Because everybody's gonna be running around with a gun." I'm like, everybody already is running around with a gun. You know, these are the people that you want to have a gun. You know, and so. I don't think it's any different than it was there, except for you're not necessarily going to know whether they're somebody that's legal to carry or not. But I think the biggest thing to me, I think more people should probably have some training.
Sure.
Other than that, I have no problem with it.
Yeah. Do you think it's a deterrent to where people are like, shit, anybody could be packing, I can't be on no bullshit?
I do. I don't know that there's enough of a difference in the number of people carrying right now that people are necessarily thinking that. Maybe there is, maybe there's not. But that is always something that people should be thinking about, especially in a state like this where there's more people carrying. You know,
Yeah.
you go to Chicago where that stuff's all legal. Nobody should be. Because when you're regulating guns like that, you're just regulating a law-abiding citizen. A person that's not supposed to have it's going to be carrying it anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think it's good. I think it's a good dig.
Sure thing. Like when I know we were in Florida years ago, and I was just in the elevator going upstairs to our hotel room, and like what do you call it, the guy in the elevator was just like packing, and he had his like, you know, the gun was just kind of hanging out of his pants a little bit or whatever. I was like, dang, like, you know, like you can just do that. He's like, yeah, shit, it's Florida. I'm like, you know, anybody have a gun? I'm like, shit, that's what it is. And then I was thinking to myself, so I'm like, damn, like, and so I said something like, what, like there isn't just like the Wild Wild West out here? He's like, shit, no, everybody's packing, so nobody fucks with each other.
Yeah.
Like, everybody knows, like,
It's gonna.
you're packing, so I'm not on road rage. This motherfucker might, you know, pull out on him.
Yep.
And so it seems to kind of police itself a bit to where it's like,
I think so.
Everybody could, anybody can get it, I guess is what they say. But at the same time, you see these spaces that have very lax gun laws or the states that have lax gun laws, it seems like they have less gun violence.
I think there's a lot of truth to that.
I mean, the stats just show that.
You look at Chicago. It's got some of the strictest gun laws in the world.
Yeah.
And in the U.S. And they got some of the most gun violence.
Yeah.
Sure.
But they ain't got to worry about it because they know nobody's carrying.
There was a county in Georgia. I'm going to mess up the county, but there was a county where they had the highest rate of sexual assault in the country, and the local police chief or sheriff, I don't remember, he held a thing where they were giving out free handguns to women, and free training, and it ended up being one of the lowest places.
Wow.
For sexual assault in the country after a year.
Wow.
And just because you give someone a tool and they're like, hey, especially when you have that problem, you don't want to be the number one city with that. Like,
no, fuck no.
And that's terrifying. So,
wow.
I mean, there are bad things with guns too, but I think.
Well, I mean, there's bad things with cars.
Exactly.
That's what I was going to say. There's pros and cons of a lot of things.
Right.
Yeah.
You think about the number of people killed with guns every year. You know how many people are actually killed by medical malpractice every year?
That's
It's the third leading cause of death in America, is it? Is it the third leading
I
cause?
think second or third.
It's not even close comparison.
No.
Well, I mean, just car accidents too, right? just driving is so much more dangerous than gun ownership.
Yeah.
People overdosing from prescription drugs they were prescribed by their doctor, is way more
Terrifying.
So, yeah.
It is. And don't get me wrong, gun can be dangerous, of course, right? I mean, it is made to be able to inflict harm on something, right? 100%. But shit, I mean, I just can't imagine. I guess this, right? And not to get too political, but a lot of, you're law enforcement. And a lot of, I think the liberal movement will say, we don't trust police. Okay. Now, in some places, and I mean, even in Lincoln, right, there's stats that could back that up to say that police or that incarceration rates or arrest rates, even pullover rates are disproportionate, right, towards certain people. Well, then they'll say, hey, we want police to, or we don't want any guns in our society, right? But we have a distrust of police. So you say, okay, you don't want any citizens to have guns, but you only want but you don't trust the police.
You want the people that you don't trust to have them?
Yeah,
right? But so then the only people that are going to have are the police that you don't trust.
Yeah.
But then now you don't have a gun. And so if you don't trust, if you say that they're tyrannical and you don't have a gun yourself, isn't that the reason for the Second Amendment?
100%. Any man who gives up freedom for security deserves neither freedom or security. That's my thing. I like guns because I don't care. People are like for protection, whatever. No, it's to fight against a tyrannical government. You guys, we all have our views, but people are like, well, that's silly. The government. I'm like, government may be the best government in the world when you're sitting in your home right now, but in 20 years, who knows what government person will take over? Sure. So. I mean, and people are like, oh, you could fight the military? Well, look what Afghanistan did to our military. And that was just a bunch of random guys with guns.
Random gay guys with guns.
I'm not rooting for the Taliban. I'm just saying people are like, oh, you can't fight them. They have drones and bombs. I'm like, yeah, but try and take on the entire American public if everyone has a gun. You're just not, you can't do it. I mean, Japan said that it was impossible to invade America because of that reason during World War II. So,
sure.
I mean,
definitely. And that's what's wild to me. If you don't trust this government, why do you want them to be the only ones with guns?
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. That's
I will never trust any government, even if I elect someone who goes to office. I don't trust them, because I don't know what they're really like,
And it's not just about them. There's other people in office that help make the laws and decisions besides just the president too.
Now, all that being said, I was just talking to my father-in-law on our podcast, and I said, look, I've had the blessing being able to travel a little bit around the world. And this is the best country, I think, like by far, right? And I think it's the best constitution, actively going by far and all that. That doesn't mean to say that we don't have our problems, or that, we can't, or that you can't think of things like, hey, just like I said, 20 years down the road or 5 years down the road, shit can be totally different, right?
Yeah.
So keeping that in mind too, like I just don't want to obviously think we're just bashing America or anything like that. Like, this is the best country.
Oh, yeah.
That being said, it can always be better.
Yeah.
It can always be better. It can always get
Of course.
to a better point. How can we make the weather better here would be the first part, but no, but seriously. And so then coming back to that gun ownership and things from law enforcement, would you rather have in your community more, I guess, citizens, law-abiding citizens with guns? Does that kind of help your community stay safe, in your opinion?
I think so. We've got it's a fairly rural community where I'm at. And I think you might get some different views between police in a large metropolitan area, just because of what they deal with on a regular basis. But I think if they had, the only ones I really know of, are got some strict gun laws. But I think if you start out with everybody owning guns, I think you would have a lot safer place all around and a lot less people using guns for crimes, because they'd be afraid they're going to break in this place, they're going to get shot. They don't want to go in there.
Yeah.
Right.
It's deterrent.
It's a deterrent. And we're in a rural community, so a lot of people have guns where I'm at, whether it's for hunting or whatever the case might be, So where I'm at, I've already got that, and we don't have a lot of gun crimes where I'm at.
Sure.
So,
But everyone has guns.
yeah. But it's hard to compare that to a metropolitan area,
Sure.
though, too. So,
Well, there's also, I'm sure, a big difference in poverty compared to, like, is everybody in that community kind of at the same level? Like, is there a big elite and then big poverty?
no, you got your people that got more money and people that have less money, just like anywhere, But I don't know that there's as drastic of a difference as there is in like the cities and stuff. But you have people that have more money than others. Sure.
I wouldn't say maybe in your county, but I would say like if you go to like Nebraska City, there's a giant difference in poverty there.
Yeah.
Sure, like some people that are very bottom earners, or like in the economic scale, really
Well,
in poverty.
you have some of that everywhere.
Yeah. I'd say mental health is probably the number one cause of, in my opinion, of your crime that happens. Poverty and mental health. I think that's huge. I think that the state of Nebraska actually just lost a lawsuit because they are not taking care of people with mental health. So, and they're having to do a lot of stuff, because basically what happened is they emptied out all of, we have you have your asylums, right? But most of those were emptied out, and the ones that you do have, they don't have beds or people to staff them. So people go in there, and then they just kick them right back on the street, even though they're a schizophrenic with multiple personality disorder. They've got all these different things going for them, and they leave them with no way to get medication. They leave them homeless on the street, and when they release them, it's not like they've normalized them. They're releasing them when they're still hallucinating. They're not even normalizing the person, giving them medication, then kicking them out. They're literally kicking them out while they're still actively hallucinating, and still going through. And that's that's the most dangerous thing, is when you have people who have things, and not that you can't be normal in schizophrenia, but when you're having an active delusion and you don't know what's real or not, a lot of those people end up doing a lot of crime. And a lot of people who do crime, who do great acts of violence, have great mental illness that's not being taken care of. And I think people think, oh, that person's just a monster. Well, or there's a huge chemical imbalance in their brain. Yeah. And, there are people who do bad things, but I would say a good chunk of those people are just mentally ill.
Nebraska closed down all their asylums a long time ago, and all they have is like just the one regional center now, right?
Yep.
In Lincoln, anyway. And
that a
all they
budget thing?
closed down all the asylums a long time ago.
Was that for budget or?
I don't know. I just remember them being like empty.
you
And then they
wanna-
finally closed them all down.
You want to hear another interesting fact? That
Yeah, sure.
So, do you know why? The capital of Lincoln is? You know why the capital of Nebraska is in Lincoln?
Why?
It used to be in Omaha.
Yeah, I remember when it
I
was in
remember you
Omaha.
spelling, huh?
So,
I didn't know
Nebraska.
that.
Yeah, Nebraska was super racist, and what happened is Lincoln wanted the capital there, and so and Lincoln wasn't Lincoln at the time. I think it was Lancaster County or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
And so Omaha was like, okay, we'll move the capital, but we'll give them something ridiculous offer. They say, you got to move the regional center and the prison to Lincoln. And you got to call your city Lincoln, because after Abraham Lincoln. And they're like, they'll never go for it because they were so racist, right? And so they agreed. And that is why Lincoln is called Lincoln, was out of spite.
Wow.
And the prison and the regional center were moved there was literally out of that.
Wow.
And our state capital was actually Adolf Hitler's favorite building. He said if he took over America, the Lincoln State Capitol would be where he would put his Reichstag. And he actually built a replica that didn't get finished in Germany of the Capitol because it was made by a German architect.
What?
And so if you go into our Capitol, it has a lot of occult symbols that the Nazis believed in.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, I know a lot of weird facts.
I got to
so.
go back to the Capitol now.
Yeah.
Lucas, you got to take me
There's
on
a lot
a
of
tour
art
of the
there.
Capitol. Like, and that's wild. So Adolf liked our shit, huh?
Yeah, really weird. Yeah.
Big Adolf.
Yeah, that's...
That's wild. I didn't know that the architect was German that did our joint.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I didn't either.
That's super cool. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, just a cool fact.
Yeah, history is just kind of like, well,
Yeah, it's
you
just
know,
cool.
like
History's, yeah.
It's just wild.
teachers in Lincoln are like, let's bury that fact.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And the senators are like, what are you talking
That's
about?
not true.
We're going to paint over some of these
my
symbols.
God.
Still.
Whoa. No, that's wild.
Yeah.
I tell you, I mean, so many of those old buildings are just so impressive. Like,
Yeah.
just amazing. Like, we just don't make shit like that anymore. It's just the craftsmanship, the art, like, just the time, the intricacy in each little handmade. They're just amazing.
The masonry was incredible back in the day.
I mean, our Capitol really is an amazing, beautiful space. Like, it really is. It's wild. And all the room, all the artwork. You got a lot of, like, those Native American, like, type pictures that they have and all, like, the buffalo and the different things they have. It's just really cool
You know
stuff.
the center, like, because it goes like this, and then there's that giant center circle. So Hitler wanted to build a round table in that circle, and it like King Arthur. And he wanted to have a round table where every one of his high generals sat.
Whoa.
And he wanted it exactly round because of the King Arthur tale.
In Lincoln.
When he took over Lincoln, but he was he wanted to make the replica, but he said when he came to Nebraska,
when he
that's
came here.
where he would have an identical round table in our capital.
He'd have had a hard time coming to Nebraska.
Yeah.
We got a lot of good old boys with guns. A lot of good old boys with guns.
Yep.
He'd had a hard time. What they call the Germans, the Krauts?
Yeah.
Yeah, Krauts would have had a hard time down here.
Yeah, I don't think they would have made it.
Nah, they would.
that would have been a mistake on their part.
New York, they would have made it past. Yeah, Maine. They'd have hopped in Maine and been done. they wouldn't have got through Maine. Have you been to Maine?
Yeah.
I want to.
Maine's beautiful.
I wanna
We
go
were in
sometime.
Maine this summer.
Where were we at? I can't remember.
Newfoundland or something like that. New something.
New Brunswick?
Some shit.
I don't know.
It was new something. I feel like it was new something. Anyways, it was amazing. And there's a lot of history there. We stayed in a house that was built in like 16 something.
Yeah, like
wow.
one
Literally.
of the presidents like stayed at it. Like,
Oh yeah. What's the
that's
second
cool.
predator? Adams.
Yeah.
Adams stayed at
Yep.
it.
I
Like
can't-
literally, like
That's
Adams
awesome.
was like
It was
kicking
so
it at the
cool.
crib.
That's cool.
Like there's like this big picture of him and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, and a couple other presidents like stayed like or just came through there or some shit. But he
'cause
stayed
there's
there.
what's it called? A fort right down the street. From
Yeah,
the
there was a
house.
fort right
Yeah.
down the joint, and
toured that.
he.
I can't remember.
It was a big
any of
naval
it's called at this
post
point.
too.
It's
It was a
all,
big
like,
naval
blanky
post.
to me.
I forget what it's called too.
Yeah.
You can Google it.
I don't know. It's really cool though.
But it was beautiful, and then and the beaches there were really cool too. It was just a cool thing. Went on a little whale tour and everything. Saw a
Yeah,
little,
we got to see humpback whales.
yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, you
Seals.
know, like the
Yeah.
Pacific, what's it called, like Pacific Life Insurance, or whatever, that commercial.
You see, yeah,
We
got
saw
to
that
see
shit in person. And,
There were like 3 of them together, and
Were
they
they
don't
just
even
big?
travel in pods.
oh, they were huge, bro.
Were you
They were
close
huge,
to
and they were
We're right there.
like adolescents too.
like right there
Like,
at the fucking boat.
I just want
like-
to see one in real life because you see
It's
them on
crazy.
Yeah.
shows, but
That's
it
awesome.
just
Yeah.
doesn't give you any
No, it
frame
doesn't.
of reference.
Like I go back and even look at the videos of them, and I'm like, gosh, it was just so much more amazing in person.
So
Like, the video
in
doesn't even do
person,
justice.
it's kind of scary
Yeah.
because
guess, yeah,
because if
it
they
kinda
land on your boat, you're fucking done.
because they're huge.
They're really big.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were in a big boat, like double decker thing, with like 60 people on it. It was a huge boat. But if this thing lands on your boat, it's over. And they're landing like feet from your boat. Like they're jumping up and landing
Coming up,
feet from
yeah.
your boat. And yeah, if they wanted to, it's over. Like they could wreck
Because
you.
they were curious.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
how you
yeah.
know, like, they are some type of higher intelligence. You know? Because if they fucked up, you're done. And they know it, too. They know you can't survive in water. Like, they're smart, I think. I don't know. It was wild. Yeah, but like I said, they don't usually go in packs.
Yeah, they usually, after they leave their mom, they're just solo. They just wander the ocean solo until it's mating time, and they all meet in the same place. But there were 3 of them together. They said they were like adolescents, and it was feeding ground, so they must have just been just hanging out for the day.
But they
guys are
hung out
lucky.
around us.
Yeah.
No, but they hung out around us
so
for like an
cool.
hour. Like, they
Yeah.
like stayed in the area. And they say a lot of times you'll see one, and then they like can dive for like 45 minutes, an hour. They
kind
can
of
stay
whales
down.
were they?
It was a real humpback whale, bro.
Humpback. Okay, gotcha.
Real humpback whale. Like,
Yeah.
they were, it was
Big.
wild.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was
That'd be
wild.
sweet to see.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was wonderful.
And we had to drive. I don't know. We were driving for like an hour and 15 minutes, just driving out into the middle of like there. You could see
get there.
nothing, no land. It was pretty cool.
I'm jealous. That sounds awesome.
man.
I want to see a whale
It
so
was
bad.
awesome.
Bro, I didn't know Maine was that dope.
Go
to
Yeah,
Maine.
it was. Yeah, go to Maine. Like, go to Maine. It's
Seafood there is probably.
We were right on the border, the coast of
Maine and New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
Maine and New
Yeah.
Hampshire. Both places have legal weed,
Really?
like
Yeah.
recreational legal,
Yeah.
like all the way legal.
Nebraska just passed our, hopefully, right?
They
Yeah,
did
they got
the medical,
Medical.
right? Yeah, the medical. So, which is the most important. Like,
Yeah.
just at least help the people that need it from all
It's
the stuff.
stupid that it's illegal.
Yeah, just help the people that need it at least, right? But then once it gets to, like I said, they had the legal there in Maine. I was like, man, like, it's kind of the whole country.
Yeah. No one
Kind of
cares
think-
about
I
weed
think people
anymore.
like stuff like,
Only like extremists care about weed. Like, why does anyone care?
Old school people.
well, like, again, too, like, I get it, just like alcohol, right? Like, you need to be
point.
of age. You have to be, responsible with it.
Responsible.
Yeah.
There's, there's things. I
that's-
get it 100%.
I think they should lower the drinking
That's
age
important.
to 18.
Back to 18.
Well, here's my reasoning behind it. Everything that you can do as an adult should be lowered to 18. If you were able to die for your country,
Yeah.
then
We've always said that.
Yeah.
or they should up the age to 21 to join the military.
Sure. No, I'm with you. I mean, you can't how can you argue against that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be like
Yep.
straight faced, right?
Yeah. Oh, you can go die, but you're not adult enough to have a beer.
To-
Like,
yeah.
fuck off.
Yeah. Which then, so if I was to choose one, I would say raise it all then, right?
Yeah.
Like then raise the 21. Because I would say, and I know this is authoritarian, but like really scientifically, right? Like 25 is really an age where you kind of get a little brains.
Yeah.
28, you really actually know what the fuck's going on a little bit.
Yep.
But I know you can't hold people back for that long. But if you're talking about like a real adult, like cognitively,
Probably took me a lot longer than that.
Yeah, but they'll never raise the age for military because then they can't brainwash the kids into doing what they want.
Sure,
And I mean, literally, it's about brainwashing. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
Like all the guys I know who are still in are like, every year I got older, I realized how fucking stupid this is.
Sure.
Because most of them realize that they're like, I lost a lot of friends and I died for what? Like,
For some
nothing?
Yeah, for industrial military complex.
yeah, for some
I
old
get it.
guys. It's old guys waging war that young guys have to fight and don't know the reason for.
Sure,
Right.
sure, 100%,
Send
100%.
them
At least
off
have-
wherever
Yeah.
they want.
Let them have a beer. That's all
Let
I'm
'em have-
saying.
let 'em have
Let
a
them
beer.
have a beer. They deserve it.
No, I feel you. And then as you get older too, testosterone goes down, and so you're less just like let me go fucking fight no matter what. You're like, hold on, why am I fighting? Like, why do I not like this person?
Yeah.
Maybe we can talk it out. Maybe we can be friends. Maybe we can have a beer together. Maybe we can, But when you're 18, 19, you're like, fuck that guy. I'll wreck him. But now, you're, what am I, 38? And you're like, well, what are our disagreements about? Like, hey, maybe we can, maybe it's all right. Maybe we're okay. Maybe it's just different.
Yeah.
Even when I'm mad at somebody, it's like I was mad at somebody the other day, right? And I was talking. I was like, man, if I see that dude, I should tell him this on site. I'm gonna slap your ass, right? But I was like, no, maybe I should just be nice and just do that. Maybe I should just not talk to him. Well, maybe I'll just tell him that, why did you say that about me? Right? But when you're 19, you're like, I'm just gonna slap his ass when I see him, right? But then I'm going through all the things, and now it's like I decided on, you know what? I'm just if I see him, I'm just gonna play it cool and just talk to him and just shake his hand and then keep it pushing. And it's like you don't do that at 19, so that's why you need to go to war at 19, 18. Can you just go do that shit?
Yeah, and then the older you get, sometimes you're just quiet because you're gonna mess with them, make them think it's coming.
Sit on the sneak.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think it's funny when you get older, though. You know who Shane Gillis is?
Yeah, definitely. He's funny as hell.
Yeah, I just watched a thing. He was on a podcast, actually, and he was talking about how he was driving by this he said he was like a business bro on a bike, and he was pedaling. And he looked out the window, and he's like, pussy, and he kept driving, to the guy on the bike, and the guy whipped around and was following him for like a mile, and he pulled up to a red light. And he's like, oh, shit. And he saw the guy coming, and he's like, well, I could roll up the window, but I probably deserve whatever he's going to say to me. And so the guy pulls up, and he's like, nice fucking car, you gay piece of shit, or something like that. And then he's like, you're right. And then they both start laughing, right? And he's like, that's just how it is. Like, when you're older, you're like, I deserve that. And then you both laugh because, he started laughing, and then the guy laughed, and then they were like, all right, you're cool. Yeah. And then they went away, So.
No, literally. I think I pulled in front of somebody the other day. They were turning into a driveway, and I was like, shit, I can turn too, because we're both turning. And you can, and then when he came up, or after I was pumping gas, and he came up to me, it's like, hey, you should wait till somebody else goes before you go, because if I didn't turn for real, then it'd have been an accident. And when I was younger, I'd been like, hey, fuck you, buddy, I know how to drive, I'm the shit. I was like, all right, okay. Gave a thumbs up and left, and then that was it. It was over. It was like, but you're older.
Road rage is
Silly.
Like, okay, you're right.
Yeah,
maybe I shouldn't have did that. Okay, cool. But the 19-year-old me would have been.
Yeah, that's all.
Right? Let's fight over this.
I almost got shot over road rage once.
Were you in LA?
No, I was driving into Lincoln Highway too, and this guy cut me off. He was driving real fast. He's cutting cars off, and I was like, you motherfucker. So I was driving kind of fast behind him, and then we get up to it's basically 56 and Highway 2, right, in Lincoln.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this motherfucker. And I was starting to open my door. I was like, I'm gonna get out and rip this guy out of the car, because he had cut so many people off, and I don't know if he was drunk or he was being an asshole, but I was just steamed. And then I hear this pop, pop, and I was like, what the crap was that? And then he speeds off, and the car in front of me, directly in front of me, just kind of wheels off into the ditch. And he had taken a handgun out. This lady was just sitting there doing nothing, and he'd shot her car twice, broke her window. Thank God she wasn't hit. The cops ended up catching the guy.
Damn.
But I was like,
you were just about to fuck with him.
I was like, if I would have walked up to that window, I was like, it would not be here. And I calmed down from that. I was like, all right, I'm not doing that again. No. I was like, every time someone cuts me off, I'm like, you must be having a bad day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for what I did. You keep going. Especially because I saw it firsthand. He's like, I was like, oh, go. My
Fuck
anger,
around and find out. Oh, no. Yeah, see, everybody's got a gun now, too. You got to remember that, y'all. That was a while ago. This is now. Everybody's got a gun, y'all. But keep it in.
But you think about it. Look how it had changed his way of thinking.
Yeah, a little bit. When I saw that gun shoot that lady's car.
Changed him.
But think of the other guys, too, the bad guys, whatever, that's got the guns. If they see everybody, if they know everybody else has got one, they're going to be thinking the same way. You're all right. I don't need that painting as bad.
I'm gonna leave it, right?
Not today, Satan.
I'm gonna leave you alone. No, that is this truth. No, seriously. Back to guns real quick. What's your favorite type of gun? Both of y'all.
The one that I pull the trigger and it will go off. You know, I've had a number of guns over the years where I've went to use them and it had a malfunction.
Yeah.
I've gotten rid of it. Like, if I grab a gun, I want to know that it's going to go off.
Sure.
And so I've gotten some that are favorites, some that I like better than others. And there's different reasons for each one. Like, I'm a huge fan of Glock. And part of the reason for that is when I pull that trigger, I know it's going to go off. I've shot thousands of rounds through Glock. And I can count on one hand the number of malfunctions I've had out of thousands and thousands of rounds.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was the gun or if it was the ammo. I have no idea.
Sure.
So I like them a lot for handgun. Are they the most accurate gun I've ever shot? No, not by far. But they're dependable.
That's all that really matters
So-
when you're in a gunfight.
Sure.
Like say, look at shotguns. I've got a shotgun that is an amazing shotgun. It's pretty stinking cool. It's the IWI Tavor TS12. It can hold like 16 rounds. You put one in the chamber and 5 in each of the tubes. It's got 3 tubes.
that rotate. It's so cool.
It's a semi-auto. It's stinking amazing. But if I was going to carry that if I was going to use that for self-defense, I'd want to practice with it a lot because there's certain things about it that are different than a regular shotgun, and I'm so used to shooting a regular shotgun. So it's not one I would maybe put as self-defense right now. If I had more training with it and practice with it a lot more, maybe then.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's different reasons for each one that I've got that I think is great and is amazing. But whatever you got, I think you need a lot of training and experience with.
Sure.
But I've got a number of them that I like. But if you get like a pump action shotgun, just any pump action shotgun, I think it'd be a great one for self-defense.
Yeah.
You know it's going to go off. I think just racking that round in there like that, it's a kind of universal sound. Somebody's breaking your house, they hear that.
Intimidating.
Turn around, they're like, exit stage left.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Sure.
Anyway, so there's different reasons for each one, like I said, but as far as just kind of overall, I like the Glock a lot because it's very dependable. I've got a number of ARs. I'm pretty happy with most of them. You know, I've got some different calibers. I've got a 300 blackout and a cheaper model, and it isn't quite as dependable as my other ones. And maybe it's the ammo I'm using, maybe it's the magazine I'm using. I don't know, because it jams once in a while. So I rarely ever use that one. But my 223s, I wouldn't hesitate having one of those. So like my pump action shotguns, my ARs, and my Glocks are probably my 3
Josh,
favorite styles.
you're
that I
wrong
have.
on this though. There's one gun above all. It's by HM Defense. It's a 50 cal sniper rifle. We're actually doing a giveaway right now for it. It is a $6,000 gun with a $1,000 scope on it. You can buy one of our hats. It's a 1 in 650 chance if you go to bluecollarballistics.com. And you can buy a hat, and you get entered into a drawing for 1 in 650 chance to win this 50 cal sniper rifle.
I'm only selling 650 of the hats.
They're
Really?
not this hat. They're like a straight black hat. I like them a lot better than this
I
one.
got to get a hat.
I do too.
And
nice.
and you get a
get
chance
that
to
on.
win basically a $7,000 gun that can shoot through
BlueCollarBallistics.com.
a tank. So
Yep.
Go get on that.
Yeah.
Go get on that and get that best gun ever.
and you get a hat even if you don't win the gun, but it's a 650 chance, so that's better than most lotteries. So
Ooh, how much is the hat?
the hat, I think it totals $40
$40 with free shipping.
bucks. Okay, $40 with free shipping. So yeah, we're trying to recoup some of the money because the gun's like
Oh,
$7
what do you mean? It's a
grand.
fucking huge gun. That's
Yeah.
a huge gun.
So
Look, when I buy a couple hats and I win that gun, y'all gonna think this is rigged, huh?
the
I'm with that dope
the
ass
gun
gun.
will be like take up this whole table. You can
Oh,
literally sit it there,
shit.
and it will shoot through 15 houses. Just
Damn, it's like the corn video. Remember that? Remember that video where the fucking bullet goes through
I
the
remember
like
that,
everything?
the
Remember
music
that?
video?
Yeah, the
I
corn
remember
music
that.
video. That video
It
changed
like
my
goes
fucking
fast
life.
and then it slows down.
Yeah. Okay, that was like pre-Matrix. Like they were doing that shit before the Matrix. Like the bullet went through. You know what I'm talking about? Go look at that shit. Like the bullet goes through the whole house, like through like the whole community. It was like the world. It was so fucking.
See, Lord of War is my favorite bullet scene. You guys remember Lord of War with Nicolas Cage?
Nicolas Cage. Oh yeah.
Yeah, where it follows the bullet from manufacturing all the way to
That
like
was dope. I do remember
it going into the guy's head.
Do remember that? That movie was so dope.
I think that was the best. One of the best, I'd say top 3 best opening sequences to any movie in the history of cinema.
I have not seen that movie in years.
It's a dope
Me either,
movie,
and I can't remember it.
It was
Okay,
Freak on a Leash.
Freak on a Leash. Okay.
Freak on a Leash video.
Let's see this.
And this damn bullet was.
Okay, so it's
Is this the
animated.
one? No, this isn't the one. This is
like-
the one. Or maybe it is.
Oh, it's
Maybe
just
I'm
a
wrong. Oh yeah, no.
compilation. Yeah,
It
yeah.
was. Here we go. Here you go. Yeah, I knew I wasn't crazy. Yeah, this shit.
Okay, I think this is coming back. That's sweet.
And this was like, I don't know. This is before 2000, I believe.
Which is insane.
Yeah. If I see that cell phone.
No, it's so fun.
Can you imagine trying to pull those shots off?
No,
back then?
like, what were they doing? Like, I want to know how they did it, but because it wasn't like, I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but we have to look at it. But this was the.
I mean, did they
cell phone is
green
so
screen it and just shoot the individual objects?
cool. Boom, that's so fucking cool. It looks
But I don't
like-
even know what green screen was like then.
Right? Like I said, I have no idea what was going on. But that
Yeah, they
shit was
had
just
to green
cool.
screen it all.
Right? That was so cool to me
Yeah.
back then. Like, yeah. So I remember that's
That is sweet.
that's like a long time ago. And then it does that whole, it's Matrix shit.
Yeah.
Before Matrix. It's not as good, of course. It's not as good.
Well, they don't
But
have
it's-
the budget.
But when I
it
was,
still looks good.
When I was a kid, I was like, "That's fucking real." Like, what's going on? Yeah, and I didn't even like corn.
That is sweet.
But that video, I just remember that video was like, I can mess with corn. Okay, all right. That video was wild. Yeah.
Born.
Oh, sorry.
No. But I was gonna say, speaking of films or whatnot, in movies, that's how we met.
Yep.
And I was at a point of my career as a movie maker where I needed validation, right? And a mentor that I listened to after that point, right? He was like, Ishmael, don't wait for anybody to validate you, right? Validate yourself.
Yeah.
And that was empowering and beautiful and all that. But before that, sometimes you're at a point in your career, your point in your life where you need some validation, right? And I met Lucas, and you were that, like, the person who gave me that validation at a point where I really needed it, right? Which was like huge. So I always, like, when I think about you, I always think about, like, damn, like, you like revived my career, because I was like, and after you're like, bro, you're really good. Like, this shit's amazing. Like, how come I don't know about you? Like, this is really good. And I was like, and I believed you. And I was like, whoa, maybe I am good. Like, this guy says I'm good. And he's going to put me in this film festival and all this. So, first, like, thank you for that. Seriously, because it means, it meant, like, so much to me, to, like, where I am even now for that validation. I don't know if you remember, like, I came home like, hey, there's this guy that thinks I'm fucking great. And she's probably like,
And you are. You are.
Festival.
but she's probably like, who cares that he thinks you're great? Like, whatever. But it's like, no, but this guy, like, he knows moves. And then like, what do you call it? And then when I saw Rewind, right? Then I was like, whoa, like, he thinks I'm good? Like, fuck, you see what he's doing? Like, and so, so thank you for that first thing. And then second thing, when it comes into movies and everything, like, maybe just talk a little bit about your experience in Hollywood, and, like, the background in movies and the things that you've seen, in that industry for that time.
Yeah, I can. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. No, I was telling Josh, he's like, how'd you guys meet? And I was like, well, there's a film festival. And I was like, his stuff was amazing. And it was, man. I got so many entries. And then when I got yours, I was like, finally, someone who gets it, right? And so I was like, why don't I know about you? Because there's a lot of, and every filmmaker is great and they have their own artistic style, but, like, there's a difference between an art filmmaker and a commercial filmmaker. And not everyone has a commercial filmmaker's eye where they can be like, okay, they're going for something and it can be artful, but it also can be beautiful and have thought behind it, and it can be well thought out and well done. And usually the art filmmakers are just bad filmmakers who can't make a good movie.
Sure.
I mean, there are a few that are decent, but they usually like, well, I'm just an artist.
Yeah.
I don't take any filmmaker who calls themselves an artist seriously. I'm like, oh, you can't compete in regular filmmaking. I get it. And I saw his stuff and I was like, wow, he gets it. Like, he really gets it. And he has like somewhere where he's going with it, and he does a really good job because he's thought of all of these things. And like, for non-filmmakers, when they watch a movie, it's like, oh, like that 15 seconds meant nothing to me. It was kind of cool. But like, from a filmmaker's perspective, you're like, holy shit, that was a lot of work. Like, I can't believe they pulled that off. And then you get like the idea of everything it took for them to do that. And then just the thought, and, you know, things mean different things to filmmakers than they do, I think, to regular people too. And movie buffs get it. Some movie buffs get it. But there are hidden things that filmmakers put into stuff, or different ways they do stuff, that really like is like, oh yeah, that's really cool how he did that. And so I saw that in you right away, and I was like, oh wow, I gotta hook him up with everybody I know, because like, he's one of like, it's hard. It's like finding a gem, especially when you do a film festival with 40 films, and then you're like, oh wow, like out of all of those, this one person is like the person who I'm like, they're going places. And not that I'm anybody, but
I appreciate that. It's huge. You are though.
No, I'm just, yeah. I started film, you know, like I'm sure like anybody else. I was just younger, wanted to do films. I always knew what I wanted to do. I never understood people who didn't know what they wanted to do. I was like, this is what I want to do from the get-go. And everyone's like, oh, you want to be an actor? I was like, no, I just want to do film. But yeah, no, I've got to do a lot of fun stuff. A lot of music videos. Got to work. Moved out to California from Nebraska, and got to work for some really cool producers and some actors, and got to work with some Oscar winners and some Grammy winners, and worked for NBC Universal, and did commercials for a lot of big companies, and did a lot of music videos for a lot of different artists. And I just got to work with an amazing group of people. I really got in because of music. I lived with a bunch of guys who were from Nebraska, and I started getting in with this group of musicians who were doing music videos for, and I met Kevin McMahon because there's a group, if you are a filmmaker from the Midwest, that's called Nebraska Coast Connection. And it's a bunch of Nebraskans and people from the Midwest who live out in Hollywood who meet once a month in Culver City. And they all kind of help each other. You got Alexander Payne. You know, he's won multiple Academy Awards, done a lot of great stuff. You've got the editor from Avatar who lives in Omaha, or here, I should say. And you've just got a lot of big people, you know. You got Chris Klein, American Pie, Gabrielle Union. You just got a bunch of people who come to the meetings and help people who are trying to break into the industry, and it's a good link for them. But no, I just got set up on that, and I met a lot of great people and got to do a lot of cool things. And it was kind of sad because like I was like 19 years old doing stuff that you know, that was really cool. At the time I was producing a movie with Bill Pullman and Colin Firth and Deepak Nair and Sandy Grushaw, who's the former president of Fox. And I was 19 years old. And I actually lied about my age to them. And it was really awkward when they're like, hey, let's meet at a bar, and I couldn't get in. So, and that's kind of how you do. You have to fake it till you can make it on a lot of stuff. And some stuff, it's like you can't fake, but you just ask. I think mentors are the biggest thing. Everyone needs mentors. So I had a lot of great mentors, and yeah, I've done a lot of work in film. I don't do so much anymore, just the YouTube channel. I don't know, films like that weird mistress that comes around every once in a while, you know. I miss it, but it's just so hard because it's such a dying industry. And it's really hard because it's the risky investment for investors. I did a lot of producing, so I met with a lot of investors, and there's a lot of producers who get money who give producing a bad name by saying, "Oh yeah, this is a guarantee," and it's and there's a lot of filmmakers out there who take a lot of money from investors and then they burn them bad, and they don't make them understand. The first thing I do with an investor, I'm like, "This is the riskiest investment
you ever make.
This is a gamble. Like, if you like gambling, let's meet. If you don't like gambling, don't meet with me.
Sure.
Here's how I'm going to minimize that risk. right? Like, here's all the things I can do to mitigate your risk of investment. But in reality, you know, this and this many movies makes money. This and this many movies makes money.
It's a real dice throw here.
It's a dice throw. And then you've got to have good people who are making the movie. You have to have a good story. And so there's just so much work that goes into it that people don't realize. And so I think that's the biggest thing with filmmaking is, like, I always tell people, don't do it unless there's nothing else you can do. Like, if you can do any other work in the world, do that. But if there's nothing else you can do that, like, you will be happy with, then become a filmmaker. But if you can do anything else that makes you happy, if you even have a second option, do that.
If you got to plan B,
Yeah.
do that plan B shit.
Because most likely you will end up sad, broken, and beaten down and being like, wow, you know, you might get to work on a couple of cool things. Or some people give up. They don't think it's hard work. Like, a lot of people in LA, I always found interesting, were actors. Actors generally are people, and I'm not saying this for all, I know a lot of hardworking actors, but actors are generally people who want instant fame.
Yeah.
They don't want to work for it, and they don't show up on time, and they're very flaky people. All of your major actors, anyone can become a famous actor. I truly believe that. Maybe there's 1% of people who can't. Anyone can become an A-list celebrity.
Yeah.
Anyone. If they spend their time on their craft, and they say, nothing will stop me, and they spend 20 years working their asses off to get there, within that 20 years, you're going to make it. If you show up on time, work your butt off, and you just keep trying, you will make it. You might not be like Brad Pitt, but you'll be, like, reoccurring in TV shows. You'll be doing that stuff. Like,
Sure.
So it's possible, but it just takes a lot more work than most actors.
That most people even realize.
Yeah,
right?
like, oh, I'm the prom queen for my small town. I'm just going to move to LA, and they're just going to be like, wow, you're pretty. Move to LA, and they're like, oh, you're a 4 in LA, but you really try hard.
No, 100%.
That's really what it is, and it's a lot of people go into filmmaking because they, I think a lot of filmmakers and actors, I would say, go into filmmaking because they had trauma in their childhood, and they want to find that love and that, like, reassurance, you know. They want to be like, oh, like, I am somebody, or I do need love, or I want love. Problem with actors is, like, it's never enough, right? With filmmakers, the nice thing is, like, there is a point where other filmmakers can be like, holy shit, like, you can start to get that, like, oh, like, my work has become more meaningful than that. I feel bad for actors because they get trapped in that, like, if they get really popular, they finally get that love, but it's never enough, so they just keep on wanting it, then they eventually fall off.
Sure.
But I think for all artists, it's about finding some deep-seated need for love and acceptance.
No, for real. Like, I feel like that's so true when it comes to, like, the difference between, like, directors or filmmakers and actors. Like, you can appreciate, like, a director can make one film, right? That's amazing. You just appreciate that shit. You're like, you don't have to make another film ever. Or, like, you know, they can just sit back on that one film and it's over. It's good. But like, an actor can have, like, one performance. Like, okay, well, what's next? Like, you know, what's next? Like, you know, like, and then if an actor has one bad performance too, it's almost like they want to throw them away. But, like, a director can fuck up 3 or 4 movies.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, they can lose money on three or 4 or 5 movies, and they, for some reason, keep getting work. But an actor, like, I don't know, it is such a difference. It is such a big difference. The other thing I was going to say, too, when you mentioned that acting is so much work and things, I think a lot of people, too, like, when people say they want to be directors or they want to be filmmakers, I think they really think that you just go there and just say action, right? And they really think that that's, like, they don't know that you're responsible for, like, as a director, like, 500 decisions within an hour, right? Well, if you're a engaged director, I guess, you know, some directors,
so you have a good AD
off and just chilling all day and never, you know, they come just on their screen or whatever. But if you're an engaged director, I mean, you have 500 questions literally that you're answering, or that you're in charge of a set, or people that are really, you know, producers that are really on set, producers that are really fucking about that life. If there's so many decisions to be made, like every single step is a decision, which they don't understand. I mean, you know, I think people really don't understand that you're on set. You know, you can do 2 hours to get this 10 seconds, or of course even longer, right? But on smaller sets like us, like, you know, we can do a couple hours for 15 seconds, 20 seconds. And it's like, goodness gracious, right? Like there's very little other, I guess, mediums where you do that much work for that little.
And it means the
return.
world to you, but other people are like, oh, that was kind of,
whatever.
and they forget about it 5 seconds later.
Yeah.
Or you're showing someone and you're like, look at that. And they're like, oh, okay.
I don't get it.
I don't, I see this in Avengers all the time. Like,
with what we do, we rush stuff out. It seems like I rush stuff quite a bit. But when we actually sit down and do a movie where he's into it and we've got time, it's like we'll do something over and over, and we'll spend a bunch of time on this, and we have like a 3-minute video after we spent like 45 minutes on something. You know? But he knows what he wants though. Like when we actually take the time to do something, he'll have you keep doing something over and over, and I have no idea what he's trying to get at. And just like we did this ad for the gun giveaway here recently.
Yeah.
And he's like, turn this light on, turn this light off, turn this light on, turn this light off. And we go over and do this with a different color light and stuff like that. I'm like, I have no idea what he's doing here, you know. But just keep doing that, and then he has me do this, has me do that. And then we sit down, and like that, there's only a 1-minute video. And we weren't there like super long doing this stuff here. You know, it might have been half hour or something like that. But he's got 50 different clips there when he's editing. And he's like, just moving stuff around. He has this all in his head, knowing exactly what he wants to do from the very time we start filming. And I think a lot of the issues, things that would make things better on our channel, would be me listening to him a little bit more when we're actually doing stuff instead of trying to rush things, because he's got a plan in his head when we do this.
Yeah,
I've got a plan in my head. Kind of.
I'm so glad you said that, Joe.
I've got a plan in my head what would be good and what we need to do, and so I know what will be good, but he knows how to make it good.
Yeah.
So I think we're a good team when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
But our problem is we just need more time.
I mean, that's everybody's life.
We
finish it. Please finish it. What do you mean? That's what the bottle's here for.
We rush things too much, I think, is part of the problem. But he, like I said, I know what we need to do, and he knows how to get it done. So because he's got all that experience with
so you just got to go with it. You got to go with that,
good.
brother.
And we've gone with some of it, and it's been great.
Yeah, I don't know if I mean, like, I've lost a lot of my skills after my brain injury. I feel like I lost a lot of my talent because I got in a bad car accident. Got a brain injury.
Okay, I missed something.
Yeah, so that's kind of what off-railed I was doing. You know, I had a production deal with Larry the Cable Guy.
Okay.
You know, and during that production deal, we were doing a movie, and we were working on that movie, and then I got into a car accident, and then I got a brain injury. And so it kind of just threw all that away. So, yeah, it was kind of one of those, like, that's kind of how, like, a lot of things go, though. Like, you finally make it, and then something pulls you back. And that's what this career is the most devastating about this career.
Yeah.
Is, like, you'll get right to something, and then something out of your control will happen, and it will rip everything from you. And so that's, you know, I've had that happen so many times with film where I'm like, oh, like, everything's signed, we're ready to go. Then, like, you know, the investor dies or something, and it's like, okay, the whole thing falls through. And I think that happens so many times, and you just get beaten down so much. And, like, people always tell you, I think too, people didn't get to do their dreams, so they will always, like, come down on you. And that's why you guys have such a great relationship, because you guys support each other's dreams, and I, like, really, I think that's amazing. But it's, a lot of people will always tell you, like, oh, I couldn't do it, so you can't do it, right? And it's the monkey experiment. Should I tell you the monkey experiment?
Please, hear.
So the monkey experiment. So people always tear you down because they couldn't do it, right? And so the monkey experiment is these scientists took a ladder and they put up a bunch of bananas up on the top of this ladder. And they had 10 monkeys in the room. And every time a monkey would try and climb up to get the bananas, they would spray it with a like super high powered water gun. And so it would, like, the monkey would fall off the ladder, and eventually anytime the monkeys would go up the ladder, the other monkeys would pull them down. So they took 9 of the monkeys away and put 9 fresh new monkeys in there. They took the water gun away. They said, we're not going to use it. And every time a new monkey who didn't know about the experiment would try and go up the ladder, the one monkey who saw the other monkeys get sprayed would tear him down. And eventually they would they literally just did this until there was no monkeys from the original experiment. They took the other monkey out, and every monkey would tear down the other monkey trying to go up the ladder out of instinct, and they had no idea why they were doing it. But the idea is that, like, you know, it's one of those things where they couldn't do it, so you can't do it.
Right.
I can't go up there, so you can't go up there. And I think there's just a big parallel between the monkey experiment, and I think humans do the same thing. It's like some parents are great about it. They're like, oh, I want you to have your dream. But some parents are like, I didn't achieve my dream. You can't either. Like, you want to do this with your life? You need to get a real job. You need to get a real college degree. You need to do this. You need to do this. You need to have a backup plan. Yeah. Like, in reality, you should never have a backup plan, in my opinion. If you're going into something that you are passionate about and that's all you want to do, like, you either make it work or you don't, and you'll figure it out on the way. Like, I don't believe in backup plans when it comes to your dream. Right?
Well, because then the energy is kind of lingering somewhere else, right? Like,
well, yeah, and there's always like, oh, I'll just fall back. Like, you got to cut the safety net and say either this is it or it's not, right? Like, I always told my mother, I was like, I'm going to be in film or I'll be homeless. And that's what I had for a very long time. Like, I was like, I'm either going to be homeless or I'm going to be a famous filmmaker. There's no in between for me.
Yeah.
And she was very supportive. My dad was not. My dad's like, you should be an engineer or get a real job. But and I think that's why I say, if you want to go into something, like, you need to go into it and be like, this is what I want to do, especially in something that's so hard to achieve. And to keep your morals in, like, because your morals will get tested in anything. You know, we've seen what Hollywood's been doing, and it's, you know, it's one of those things where, like, everybody in Hollywood knows so much, and I always see these things getting released. You know, like the Kevin Spacey thing, and I was like, everyone in Hollywood knew about this years ago. You got the Diddy stuff. Everyone knew about that years ago. And so, like, I know stuff in the back of my head just from being in film and hang out with some producers. And I'm like, I'm just waiting for the next one.
Wait for the next one?
I was waiting for the Will Smith one to drop forever. I figured that they would cover that up forever. But, like...
What do you mean?
The Will Smith and him... like him and his wife going to, like, sex parties and doing all those stuff. And so, like, and everyone knew that, like, in Hollywood, everyone knew that Will Smith and Jada were both, like, gay and swingers. So
like, Will Smith is gay?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. I mean, he
so he wasn't when he started, but Jada got him into the lifestyle.
She got him to swing gay?
Yeah. So Jada was like, even Yoko.
No idea of any of this.
So Yoko Ono wrote a book about like, her and Hillary Clinton, for instance, were swingers back in the day. I don't know if you know that, yeah. So her and Hillary Clinton used to swing around. She wrote in the book. Hillary was like, didn't deny it or say that they did. And then, like, same thing with Jada. Jada was a big swinger. You'll have to ask one of our friends about this because he knows about it. His name starts with an R.
Ralph.
We'll go with Ralph. He's from Hollywood. He knows a lot about it. But yeah, she got Will into all that stuff.
So how does he know? No, bullshit.
He's friends with Will. Well, he was friends with Will. I should say. I'd be like, how do you know this, Ralph?
Like, so, if you know, you know.
But there's just different things that I'm, like, waiting, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait till this thing comes out. I can't wait till this thing comes out. And people are like, well, why doesn't other people come forward with this stuff? I'm like, because if you work in the industry and you mention any of that, you're done. You're never working in it again.
Blacklisted and all that.
Never. Right. And, like, it's not like most people all know it, but do they have physical proof of it?
Yeah.
And then, like, not only are you done, like, you might get sued because you don't have the physical proof. You know it's true because you've worked with 50 people who've all been like, oh, did you hear this? Did you hear this? And it's like all the same stories about the same exact people.
Dang.
Like, I had a friend who was with, she worked for Oprah, and she went out with one of the producers of Oprah, and they met Kevin Spacey at a bar in LA, and he was with his boyfriend, and his boyfriend's name was Igor, and he was an 18-year-old kid named Igor. So it was legal. It was legal, but everyone knew that Kevin Spacey liked young men. I didn't ever know that they were underage. I just heard he liked around 18.
Yeah.
But Kevin Spacey denied being gay forever, and Hollywood kept that secret, which was really weird for me.
Interesting.
Because Hollywood's all about being open and free. With Kevin Spacey, they hid that fact forever. And so when all that stuff came out and people were like, "Oh, it can't be true," I was like, "Oh, that makes sense."
He's it.
I was like, "That makes sense." And there's some now that I'm still waiting on that I'm like, "Oh, I'm surprised this person who's like Harvey Weinstein hasn't been outed."
Bro. So we just did a feature film called $1 Million Summer Camp. And it's a really cool film. It's like a kid's film, like doesn't check any of the boxes because we're like against the boxes being checked. We just want to make film, and this film is really great. Imagine Home Alone meets Imagine Home Alone meets The Parent Trap. You know, like The Parent Trap.
Oh, I love that. Yeah,
like the
awesome,
camp and shit, right? Okay, and Home Alone. So these kids, they find $1 million in a duffel bag in the woods because they're like going off to camp and being bad kids and leaving and shit. And mobsters were like hiding their bank robbery heist there because they're fucking stupid. And then the kids take the money. The mobsters find out that the kids took it, whatever, and they're gonna come back to the camp. And the kids have to save the day, right? Stop the monsters. You think Home Alone, set up booby traps and shit. Really cool movie, super fun, family. You know, if you have kids that are young, you can watch it and not have to worry about it, right? Now, we're making this movie, and one of the actors in the movie used to be a bodyguard for Diddy.
Really?
Right?
No.
Yeah, he's a bodyguard for Diddy.
I thought you were going to say bank robber.
So he's a bodyguard for Diddy, and he's telling me the story now. This is when the Diddy shit just broke.
Yeah.
Before you knew any details. Okay, no details yet, guys. This just broke. He wasn't even arrested yet. Okay.
No.
Yep.
So
They
this
hadn't
is
raided his.
this is before the
things,
raid.
Nothing.
This is before the raid. Okay, so he's telling me the story about Diddy at a Diddy party, right? This is before anybody's talking about this shit, right? It just happened. He's like, yeah, so, I was a bodyguard, and I was, like supposed to be like in it, like kind of like a rapper too or something. And he's like, so we're at one of his parties. He's like, there's a bunch of celebrities around, all this and all this. He's like, I go upstairs to, for some reason go, do something. He's like, and Diddy comes out of this room, and he says that he's just like in just these white little small little underwear shits or whatever, and he's like trying to explain it like no homo type thing, but it's kind of what he's saying. But he's like, so here he is. He's like, and he's just, his body is just glistening, like just glistening, just shining, just shining. The body just shining, right? And like he's saying it, and like this was like in a change room, like a green room, and it's like me and like three other guys around or whatever. And then he's saying it, he's looking at us, and he's like, he's trying to keep saying it like, well, like like I'm not checking Diddy out, but he's just glistening everywhere. He's like, then like I peek in the room, and so Diddy, I guess had like told him like, hey man, go in the room, it's all good for you, go in the room, get you a little massage, go in the room, right? So he says he looks in the room, and it's just a bunch of like just naked dudes in like the same type of like little pants that he's in, and just like all just rubbing each other with all this crazy oil, just rubbing each other down and shit. He was like, whoa. And he told Diddy, like, he came back out like, no, I'm good, I'm going downstairs, whatever. And Diddy's like, hey, why not, come on, do your thing up here, right? So he was talking about the baby oil before it was even in the fucking news. Like, he was just telling the story about the baby oil and the glistening and all the guys and this and that. So I'm like, but that was before the baby oil was even announced, like, in public, right? And he was telling us a story about Diddy and all these baby oils. It was wild. Yeah, it's like shit just happens. It's just
I'm surprised it lasted
crazy.
so long with like, I think what ruined Diddy was the camera starting to come out and all the proof and like more people being social media. Otherwise, that would have lasted forever. Like, most of that stuff behind like, what I've known, at least, I've talked to some pretty well-known actors, and a lot of what happens is a producer they'll be like, they'll audition, and then they'll get a invite from a producer or a director to come over to a party that's at their place, right? They show up. There's no one there.
Oh, no one there.
Right. There's a contract on the table, and there's a naked director, producer in the bed. And they're like, we do this, and then we'll sign that, and you're going to be in the next flick, right? That's generally what happens.
I think that's been going on forever. I was listening to Rosie Perez did an interview before she commentated on the fight or whatever, and she talked about how that happened to her numerous times.
Really?
When she was first starting out. So that's
she take
like
the
the
contract?
norm. No, she said she walked out.
Oh, she did.
Yeah, but that's what she says.
It happens a lot more.
How she get White Man Can't Jump?
Her first film was
Do the Right Thing.
yeah,
Spike Lee.
Spike Lee.
So Spike Lee didn't have a contract for her like that.
I guess not.
Spike Lee's
She's
not like that.
Spike Lee's not like that. He's
like
a straight shooter.
wanted
Straight
her.
He seems like a straight shooter.
She was a dancer or something, and then he approached her to be in the film.
What type of dancer?
Hip hop.
Oh, okay. Like a fly girl.
Yeah, kind of like a
Like a
fly
fly
girl
girl.
thing. Yeah, she was like a choreographer. She did choreography for a lot of music videos
Really?
back in the 80s.
She doing the choreography for Paula Abdul probably or something.
Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown. She's doing the My Prerogative.
So, yeah.
That's dope. That's super dope.
I think it happens a lot more to men than women. I think women, they suggest like
What'd you say?
like with like getting roles. What they'll do with women is they'll suggest, be like, hey, it'd be really cool to hang out sometime. With they like breaking straight men, so what they'll do is they'll be like, hey, come over, and then they'll lay it on them on the spot because that's the only way they can break a straight dude. But with women, it's more of like, oh, maybe if we hang out, I might feel a little bit better about giving you this role. With men, they're like, hey, come over at this party, and then they break it right there. They're butt naked, and the guy's like, $1 million of contract, guy. Maybe if I just do this one time, I'll break it. I'll never have to do it again. But then they own you.
Wow.
So
Wild.
Whoa. Just
yeah,
for the
there's
contract.
There's a lot of famous actors who.
He said, so do they do that to directors too?
Like, who do I call? I brought my own lube for this party. It's an actual party. You show up in a Speedo with some lube.
Oh my
Like,
god.
what the fuck, dude? What the hell? We're playing Yahtzee. Like, what the hell?
He's like, I'm not into this now.
He's like, but I heard, but I thought.
Luke told me to come here.
Yeah.
Luke said I get a job, man.
I can get a job.
I can say, and action. See?
No.
See? Oh, man. That's wild. That, I guess every industry where somebody has power over somebody else, right? Things like that happen.
Yeah.
Right? You hear about it, in every industry, right? Not just film, right? I mean, office jobs, you hear about that type of stuff, right? Like, I mean, what was the doctor in Arkansas? Did you see that? There's a doctor in Arkansas who was like paying his office lab workers and things like $20,000 for like sex favors and things, and he was just walking around naked in his office, like doing crazy stuff. Like, it's on camera. It's wild. So like,
Wow.
that, yeah, right. And that's a doctor at like, some private practice in Arkansas.
That's crazy.
So imagine what the Joe Smo producer is doing, who is trying to get a girl who's like trying to break into acting.
That's insane.
I think it's. I
That's
think
why I want a gun.
I started getting into modeling a little bit when I was 21, 22 years old.
that's where I heard all the stories from.
So they broke it.
I got hired by an agency in New York, and the guy that got me hired told me that the reason I got hired is because the producer liked me. Wow. And it was a dude. And I was like, nope, I'm done. And I never looked back.
You're done? Oh, man.
I'm out.
So you didn't do the Calvin Klein spot?
No.
You pour me some
I
tea.
turned and ran.
Then I'm good.
Oh, my goodness. Did you have parents? Did your parents were involved with that? Or did you tell them?
No.
Or were you already of age at that
Yeah,
time?
21, 22.
Oh, okay. You're already. Okay.
Yeah.
That's wild. He was just sweet on you, huh? He was just,
I was like, nope, I'm out of here.
How bad do you really want it, Josh?
like,
Not that bad.
he's like, okay, so you don't have any regrets?
Nope.
No, he's like, no, I'm sheriff, damn it. You got no regrets. That is wild. But I mean, it's crazy. Like, when you hear stories like that, how it's really real. Like that entertainment industry is so toxic because people will do anything for fame. Most people would do just about anything to be famous.
They will. But I think the difference too is that, and like people might call me a conspiracy theorist, but I know this for a fact that it's true. I do. The difference is that like you would do anything for money, but people with fame have power, and so when you do these things, they're recorded, and those recordings are handed off to special interest groups. So when they call you and say, hey, I need you to vote for this person, I need you to vocally say that you support this person. Don't you agree? Or maybe something will be released. And they don't even have to say that. They're like, yeah. So you get a lot of people who are like, I can't believe they're supporting this person.
Yeah.
And it's literally, and people are like, oh, that's crazy. No, that happens every single day. Like, oh, hey, Taylor Swift, we've got this information that you know, and she there is something on her that is not out that would destroy her career.
Sure,
I bet.
Sure.
There's a specific thing that I don't want to say, but
I mean, so many people have something.
yeah, I'll tell you off podcast.
Oh man, damn, y'all. Hey, look,
Offline.
if you subscribe, I might tell you what the fuck you said.
So, yeah. No, I literally, I want to get shot in my driveway.
No, right.
But
But for $10 a month,
But I mean, think about it. Like Taylor Swift, for instance, like how many millions,
1.5 million subscribers later.
how many millions of votes does she control? In reality, a lot.
Yeah.
And so when they're like,
Lot.
look, we have this on you. You can just support this person. It's not a big deal for you. Or we can release this. She's going to be like, guess who I support?
Right.
there was a lot of people who never been political, never said a thing about politics and who they're going to vote for, that all of a sudden this year came out for a certain candidate. I mean, a lot.
And there's a reason.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I really believe there's a
They were
lot of
really
reasons.
trying.
Like, you might be on that list, brother. You might be on that list. Yeah, it was it's tough.
Well, and people are always like, why don't you help people? I'm like, that's not my fucking job.
Yeah.
No,
I don't want that danger. I got
don't want that
kids.
on my
Like,
head.
sorry, I'm not that brave.
no.
If it was something terrible, like someone's committing genocide, that's a different thing. But when it's like that kind of stuff, no.
I mean,
No.
Yeah.
with certain messaging, I think it does promote genocide.
I mean, look how many people were killed with Epstein. Look how many people were silenced. Look how many people were, I mean, even here in Lincoln, you had everything with Boys Town.
That's what I was just gonna say.
The Franklin
whole Boys
cover-up?
Town conspiracy.
Oh, the Franklin.
Yeah, it was a big deal.
No, it is a big deal.
All the people that were paid off, all the people that were
Yeah.
What, the people were killed in plane crash, like the fucking main.
Investigator.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah. I'll have another story off.
Yeah, that's
People are going to go, what the hell? I have another
Crazy.
story of that.
I don't know who put. There was I think I watched the documentary about it on YouTube. Somebody put a pretty good one together on YouTube.
I just wanna
interviews from the kids who. Yeah.
Yeah, if something happens with kids, I'll out them. Kids,
Yeah.
adults are different, but kids, I
Those
will
kids
out
are
you in a
messed
second.
up. It's really sad.
Well, they did a hack job on those kids too, right? To make the kids uncredible.
It was
Basically, yeah.
It was the first
Made
time
them
in
addicts
history that the kids, because they threatened them and their families, the kids took back what they said. And it's the first time in history that a judge has sentenced a child who took something back to prison.
Yes.
Like for a really long time, for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really sad.
I
Yeah.
tell
How
you
deep
what.
that went, because it wasn't
You-
just Boys Town. There were like local banks and stuff involved. Like it was like big money.
Yeah, it was big money.
Yeah.
Do you think he was sentencing him to get him in trouble, or do you think he was trying to pressure him to tell the truth?
No, the judge literally sentenced him. I mean,
But do you think he was doing it because he was ticked at him, or do you
Correct.
think he was trying to push him to tell the truth?
I think he's
No.
paid off.
I think
he
to,
was
like,
paid off.
Do what he did.
it went all the way up to the presidency. The senator at the time investigated it, said it was the greatest wrongdoing he's ever seen in his career, that nothing was done about. It went all the way up to the presidency, and they had people killed, and they basically were smuggling boys out of Boys Town to the White House to
pretty gross.
get molested by all these politicians.
But it was like brutal. Like those stories I was hearing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Was, I mean, I know any molestation is brutal. Like
No, but
that's
yeah,
horrible.
it was.
But it was like beyond what you
really-
ever could
it was
even
really
imagine.
hard to like even like it took me, I don't know, a long time to finish the doc, because every sometimes I'm like, okay, whew, I need a break from that. Like, that
My
was a
cousin
lot.
first told me about it.
Yeah.
And my cousin, who's like, So when I first heard it, I was like, this is probably some bullshit because this guy's fucking crazy, right? But wow, maybe he's crazy because he heard that shit.
Maybe
That's how, like, that
that's
shit will
how
turn you
this-
crazy.
Yeah.
Like, it's so evil, so demonic.
I got to know the one of the counselors there, who went to prison for molesting some of the kids. He even wrote books on how that they use today on how to counsel molested kids, and his job was to counsel them, and he ended up molesting his own kid.
Oh my goodness.
He went to prison. He was part of the Franklin cover-up, and I just wanted information from him.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
So messed
you know,
up.
pressing him
It's
for
really
it.
sad.
And
Yeah.
they like the CIA's involvement in that. I mean, the CIA, I literally don't know how they've gotten away with slipping and sliding out of all of these things forever. Because I mean, he was a graduate from Brown University. He had his like doctorate from Harvard or something. He was a super genius guy. He even said in his testimony that the CIA was about it, and then all of a sudden he shut the hell up, and it was because he got pressured. And yeah, like it all went back. It was a great running, you know. And look, like ever since then, the Catholic Church was involved, obviously, and look what happened with that. Everybody else, the Catholic Church, you know. Got pressed, but because it involved politicians and everybody else, everyone's like, oh, it was a conspiracy, even though senators came forward, tried to chase them, people died, investigators died. There was a lot of wrongdoing. There was presidents of banks involved. The Republican Party was involved. Yeah, it was just a cover-up, and that's what it'll always be.
There's some type of
It's easier to do back then, though, to cover things
Oh, yeah.
up.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Way easier. Way harder now.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some sort of primal evil, I think, that is this like boy lover type culture, right? Like in Afghanistan they talk about it like a lot, where and then you know, like it's kind of like a Greek like reminiscent or like byproduct or something, like, you know, like at some point like Alexander the Great like took over that part that, you know, most of the world or whatever, right? And he was, you know, on the gay shit too, like you know, they like literally like molest boys, right?
Yep.
And I don't mean to say gay shit, because like gay people are just fine, like consenting adults being gay, that's totally
way different.
Totally
Their-
cool, totally
their
okay,
choice.
like 100% awesome, like you know what I mean, like cool, like whatever, like Trump dance, like cool, but but what I mean, but like when it gets to the molestation, right, of minors and boys, and this like culture of grooming boys, there's some, like I said, like primal evil that I see that for some reason keeps like it. I feel like it shows the deterioration of a culture. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, so like the worst of the worst people that are doing that, for like, if that's the leaders that are able to do that, or able to get away with that, like that's a deterioration of culture. Like that's like the end of your civilization. I think of what it like erodes to.
Yeah, I mean, it happened to Rome.
I'm not going to argue right and wrong right now. I don't agree with that. I don't think it's right for anybody to do that. But if people are doing that and they're adults, that's their decision. However, them pushing it on the rest of the public and the kids and things like that, that's where this comes from. You know, like they're trying to promote and say this is all good and this is okay, but they're pushing it on the kids. Like the kids ain't old enough to make that decision.
Like in grade school, having a book about gay sex.
Well, about sucking
wrong.
dick.
That's
Right.
sick and
That's
wrong.
my
Yeah, that's
issue.
just like,
Or even like, oh, it's okay to like boys, or it's okay to like like the same sex. But it's
But
like
it's about fellatio
but,
too,
but
though.
that's what I'm saying. But it doesn't have to take it to that level.
That's my issue with it. Is like, hey,
Because they're kids. They're just innocent kids. They're not even like thinking
Correct.
like that yet.
And they're not old enough to make that decision.
No. And yeah, I mean, even as parents, like I told my kids, like, you don't even need to like date or have a boyfriend or girlfriend until you're at least 16. Like there's no reason for it. Like, yeah, have friends, get to know people, talk. But yeah, it's just, they just
well,
take
what
it
did
too
you
far
say
with everything.
too? I think, Meg, as you said that dating is supposed to be for
Finding a partner, for marriage, like finding somebody you want to marry. That's what dating is for, right?
dating's for marriage, and we've turned dating into
Something that's not.
for like fun, for like sex partners, for fun,
Yeah.
for whatever
sexual
you want, right?
Yeah.
gratification.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do think dating can be an opportunity to learn what you do and don't want in
Of
a
course.
partner.
Yes.
And that's what it's meant for.
Yeah,
But you're supposed to be trying
it's
to find
a lifelong partner.
There you go.
Not
Yeah.
just like, hey, hit me up on Tinder, you come
Yeah.
over, you have sex, and then you never talk again.
Right, no.
Like, I don't get that. I'm a dude, get it. I get, like, urges, but I
you
don't
get that, but you don't get it.
I don't get it. Like,
You get it, but you
Yeah.
don't get it.
get out of here.
But I mean, like, adults,
eat alone.
like, that's a different thing. Like, adults can make those decisions and do that. Kids don't need to, like, be, I don't know, like serial dating. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I have a boyfriend. Oh,
Yeah.
we've been dating for 6 months. Like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
You're in 6th grade.
That's
what?
stupid.
No, you haven't been dating for
You're right.
6 months.
No, that's stupid. And if you're in school and you're talking about relationships other than a mother and father relationship, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
because we
just
placed
too
a devalue on 2-parent households or mother, father, a wife, a husband. You know, that's been devalued.
Traditional
Yeah,
family
traditional.
values.
Nuclear
Been
family. Yeah.
devalued. I mean, even like, I don't know. They just, I mean, I love empowering women if they want to work outside the home and have a job and have a career. That's your choice. You're able to do that. But I feel like they almost like make it a negative thing to be like a stay-at-home mom or to like not want to work. And I think it's okay if a woman wants to be at home and raise her kids and take care of the household. Like, what? And the husband's able to support that. What's wrong with that? You know?
Nothing. I think people get too caught up into, like, this is what you have to be, and so they're like, you can't be in that box. You have to be in this box, and it's like,
Yeah, going back to what
why
you said
put
earlier.
people boxes?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Meg, have you seen women or other women if you say that you're a homemaker, like, oh, I stay at home, like, do you think that women judge that?
Sometimes, I don't know. I feel like that's just such a common question in our society. Like, oh, what do you do for work? You know, so if you're like, oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom, they're like, oh, you know. But if you're like, oh, I'm a accountant for blah, blah, blah. Oh, what's that like? Do you like working there? You know, and then it's like, they want to talk about your job. But if you're a stay-at-home mom, they're not like, oh, do you like that? Like, oh, how are the kids? What are you like? You know, like, people don't, I don't think people value it.
Like, they don't have a follow-up.
Yeah.
Do you think people are asking that question because they align how they should treat you or how they should respect you with what you do instead of who you are?
100%. 100%.
Which is a weird cultural thing, right?
Yeah.
It is.
Like, how do you make money? That's how I respect you. It's like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
What do you
Exactly.
do so I
Yeah.
can, like, oh, I'm a doctor. Oh, I give you much respect, but oh,
Yeah.
I'm a garbage man. Oh, whatever. You're just
Right.
gonna be middle class for the rest of your life. Like, fuck
Right.
off.
But
Like,
really, it's like, yeah, I mean, I tell people I'm a stay-at-home mom, but yeah, I have a part-time stay-at-home job. I clean houses, residential and commercial. I have lots of other side jobs, gigs that I do that bring in income, but I pride myself on being a stay-at-home mom,
Which is
being
not an
here
easy
for
job.
my family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, but stay-at-home mom is like, Jesus.
yeah, it is the full time. I mean, I'm sure it's gone viral everywhere.
It's a
Everyone sees
lot.
that like Zoom interview they give to people, like, oh, can you do this? And this is, oh, it's going to be no compensation, by the way. You're on call 24/7, 365.
Oh,
And they're
all
like,
holidays. All
what?
holidays.
Like, what?
all
What?
holidays.
And they're like, oh yeah, the role is a
That's
mother.
amazing.
A mother.
Yeah, it was great.
You know.
It's like, oh, you have
And
to
then they
work
just
all
laugh.
holidays.
But it's like, it's real.
You have to, so you have to have accounting skills.
Yeah.
You also have to be able to lift up to 70 pounds. You also have to be able to like,
cook,
it's
do
nuts.
laundry, clean. They're looking like,
So you can be
what?
a personal chef and a nutritionist. So you have to have nursing skills
Yeah.
as well. You have to be able to.
Gotta be able to multitask.
right, all the things. Yeah.
It's wild, and you know, like think about husbands or men's level of responsibility, right? A lot of times we say like men have the world on their shoulders and this responsibility, all this responsibility and shit like that or whatever. But then it's like too, I think like not enough people talk about, I think the weight of a homemaker, right? The weight of a homemaker, of like how, like even sometimes I'm like, hey, people are gonna come over, right? And I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like people about to come over, right? We're about to kick it, like dudes per se, like whatever the fuck, right? But then but she's like, but I know sometimes you're thinking like, what? People are gonna come over tonight? I gotta make it has to be like this, has to be like that. Where it's like the weight of the homemaker is different too. Where it's like people come to your home, you want to be like shit, you want it to look nice, you want it to be great. The perception of all these things. Where it's like as a man, like you want to be like, shit, I want people to come over to see that, like, I'm a breadwinner, that I make money, that I fucking can support my family, that I can put out, that I can do these things, right? And it's like the weight of that. I think we forget about the weight of homemakers, of wives that take care of home and have all those responsibilities on them.
I agree.
You know, that's huge, and I think we forget about it. And like, I don't know. Last time I talked about it, like how much stress and weight must be on wives. And my wife does great. I feel sorry for some of those blokes out there with fucking trash wives. Like, shit sucks, I'm sure. But for real though, like, where you can, that's why I don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, shit, people can come over. Yeah, the house is already great. It's ready to go. Let's fucking do it. We're gonna have tea and everything. It's gonna be ready. Like,
You can't be a great person without her being your backbone. 100%. I mean, like what you do for him, he wouldn't even be near where he's at. I truly believe that. Don't get me wrong.
No, it's real. No, it's
like,
fucking real.
Big fan of you,
Yeah.
but like, you've always been his backbone since I've known him, even though we don't see each other a lot. Like, I can always tell that, like,
I got my shit together because
Yeah.
of her. Yeah.
she's your scaffolding.
Yeah,
Right?
I even got socks because of her shit. I want socks.
But with a dude, if you're just like supporting him and encouraging him, that's a huge plus for a dude.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. It's validation every day.
It is.
Every day, like, no matter what, like, okay, like, I've got canceled a couple times, right? Like, really canceled, to where, like, people try to take not only my job, my livelihood, but my whole, what's that called, reputation, all the stuff that people care about. But then I come home, and my wife loves me. Like, she's 100% in my corner. She's like, no, you're right. Fuck those people. Like, come here. Like, give me a kiss. Like, like, that. And so if you're a man and you can go home and no matter what, your wife has your back, your wife like respects you and supports you. Oh fuck, who cares about that? Like nothing else fucking matters.
That's the dream.
And
That's the dream.
that makes you want to go out the next day and bust your butt and try even harder.
Yeah.
Like if you ain't got that, you're just like,
For real.
I'm screwed.
For real.
I don't even care.
Yeah, I go home at night and I lower that lotion down to that girl in the well, and no support,
Stupid.
Let me out of here. Just put it on your skin. So you're a lucky guy. You don't have to keep her in the well.
Yeah, he said, y'all must not seen Silence of the Lambs. Y'all must not get it, okay?
Would you fuck me? I fuck me.
Y'all don't get it, okay? If a person asks you for help in the back of a van, do not help move furniture in that shit, okay?
I hurt my arm. Precious.
I swear. But seriously though, like, people do, I think, forget about the team aspect.
Mm-hmm.
People always see the front. Like, Martin Luther King Jr. too. Like, I was in Atlanta. There's this really awesome museum and shit for him, and then it was talking about there's this space and it has his cufflinks, like his cufflinks box, right, or whatever. And they're talking about like how how his wife helped him always like arrange his cufflinks and always have his things ready and shit like that, right? And it's like, oh, some people don't even think about that, like that extra move. But it's like, shit, just go into your cufflink box and have them cufflinks ready in the morning. It's like, it's a different, like for real, like that shit can drive you crazy. Like, little, I don't know if you guys ever been there, right? But something that just fucking just take you off the rails. Like, you got a whole bunch of shit going. It's like, these fucking cufflinks, shit.
Yes.
Like, just
Exactly.
something stupid
Yep.
little will just set you off for no reason, right? But like, Coretta got his cufflinks right. You know what I'm saying? Like, the brother could start his day and go make whole change for the whole country because he got his fucking cufflinks right.
I've heard a lot of great things about her.
Oh yeah, Coretta's the queen. I hate how they really try to, and how they still do try to tarnish Dr. King's legacy without any real proof except for the same CIA that killed him, right? So they'll be like, oh, he was a womanizer and we have these tapes of him cheating on his wife. The CIA has these tapes of him cheating on his wife. And okay, well, the fucking CIA killed him. They had a whole division called like Murder Dr. King or some shit. It wasn't that exact name, but it was something
They
similar.
hated
It was code name,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
But literally,
Hoover and his
like
Where
they
have
were
I ever
trolls.
lived? I've never heard anything bad about him.
the left hates Martin Luther King Jr. now.
Oh man, they just like keep on calling us womanizer, and they have this whole play. Oh my god, I was still on.
It was at the Lincoln Community
Oh,
Playhouse.
I still wanted
last fall.
choke some folks
Maisha
involved.
and
And Maisha's a
What's
great
his name?
actress,
What's his
Max.
name? Max.
And Maisha's a great actress, and we had a great dialogue about it, right?
we did.
And I talked to Maisha about it as well, and she had her things, but she's really open-minded or whatever. But then Max, he's so liberal, he thought he was doing a good thing or something. But I'm like, bro, like, you name me one. Okay, for example, right? Name me, okay, like Martin Luther King Jr. in like black culture is like the epitome of like importance, right? Now, let's say like I would like equate him to like Thomas Jefferson in like American white culture, right?
Yeah,
Like Thomas
of course.
Jefferson. Okay, when's the last time you seen a movie or a play about Thomas Jefferson's like being a sex predator?
Or womanizer. Or like
Never.
a whole play of him like flirting
no.
with
So they made a
somebody
play
other
about
than his
Just
wife.
about him being a fucking womanizer and like
Yeah.
flirting with this girl the whole time. The night before he was
That was
murdered.
the whole play.
The night before he
The
was murdered.
whole fucking play.
Yeah.
was
So,
just,
so yeah, the left has like I will say this, like I'm not left or right, but I say left because it's more left-leaning politics, has told people who are more liberal to hate Martin Luther King Jr. because he wanted peace and he wanted prosperity for his people and he wanted people to be treated because they can't put you in a box. That's what they want to do.
Sure.
Like a lot of very liberal policies that have gone far. You know, I'm liberal socially, but they've gone to extremes and they want to put you in a box. And I think that's like, they're like, oh, Malcolm X is the answer. And I'm like, well, I don't think you know much about Malcolm X either. Like, Malcolm X didn't believe in, like, interracial marriage, for instance.
No.
He believed in separation and segregation. They believe in everything should be segregated, but together at the same time. And I'm like, you guys are bringing segregation back and you're ruining, like, Martin Luther King Jr. was an amazing man. Like, he's a reverend. We have to hate him because he's a Christian. Like,
there's so many different things now. It's like, and what's wild is here's why. And I mean, okay, there's so many different levels here, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And I'm gonna go a couple different ways, quick, right? So Malcolm X, like his philosophy for the world he was in, I think was the right one, right? Like because he had no evidence that any white America was gonna treat Black America correctly.
yeah,
Right?
no.
So like I'm with that, but at the same time, right? If you're going to, I don't know, like I can't tell somebody to integrate into a burning house, right?
Yeah.
That being said, to make a person whose philosophy was so genuine, and Martin Luther King Jr.'s, and the philosophy being so genuine, whether you agree with it or not, the philosophy being so genuine of this dream that everyone could be in this euphoric society together, which is like, I don't know, we're getting fucking closer, okay? In my opinion, we're getting closer.
I agree.
That's just my opinion. Some people can hate me for that. That's fine. But in my opinion, I think we're getting closer. I'm just saying, okay? I think we are better off now than we were in 1960. There's a whole bunch of different problems. I can go over those for days if you want to, right? But I do think that we're at a better point. That being said, to diminish or to outline accusations of infidelity or being a womanizer or whatever it may be to this legacy of peace, togetherness, tranquility, all these things, right? The dream, right? The dream. To take that dream away and to paint him as a womanizer without not one, and I reached it after this play we watched, I scoured the internet. Like I was trying to be like Jamie off fucking Joe Rogan. Like I scoured the internet trying to find one instance, one story of a woman, of one of the women that he allegedly cheated with or seduced.
No, I did too because I was like, is this real? Like, is this a real account? Like, this really happened? So I even researched like where the playwright came from, who wrote it, like what inspired her, like.
She made the shit up.
She made it all up.
She's fucking made it up. So
Literally
the playwright
made it
was
all
made up, right? And it's by a black woman too, right?
Yeah.
So that gives you a pass. Like, oh, the black woman wrote this, so it can't be racist. It can't be stupid, whatever. But like, to me, that shit's racist. Like, to take this amazing person and equate his amazingness to being a womanizer, right? Like, if a white person would have wrote that, we'd have been like, this is some racist ass shit. Like, this is some fucking, like, this is horrible, right?
Yeah.
But because they had a black woman do it, who's talented, like, it's a talented playwright. It was a talented write.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, like playwright writes, like, oh, this is fucking good. Like, this is
But
good.
it was the context.
The content
and how
was
it
like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like, gross.
It was.
And they got two of the best actors in Nebraska
Not
to
that
do
it,
it too.
Yeah.
Not that they ever showed anything happening, but it was just like what was insinuated.
Oh, it was suggested. It was so
was
suggested.
Did they make him
the whole
sleazy
time.
though?
Sleazy as fuck.
Yeah, like he was like in like
Sleazy.
like not even like fully dressed.
I would've walked out.
No, but what I mean sleazy, like he like was like they made him a chain smoker,
Yep.
like alcoholic basically. Like he was trying to drink, he was trying to smoke. It was like, come the fuck
Yeah.
on.
He made him
like
into
getting
me.
like all close to her and yeah,
Right? It was like
yeah.
like they made and like I love Tupac too, but like they made like Martin Luther King Jr. like Tupac. It's like, why? Like,
Yeah.
that's not where it's like, he's not that. Anyways, so it really, really rubbed me the wrong way. But that's what we're talking about when we talk about like the, I guess what the left sometimes can turn things into is just that totally other way where it's totally, it's taking a step back. You know, it really took a step back with the legacy and everything. And then and again, it's like, let's say it is true, even though I found no evidence of it being true. I'm talking about with any infidelity, right? But let's say it is true, right? Again, we go back to the counterparts. When have you ever seen a movie about Thomas Jefferson's infidelity or about him having a sex slave or about him, you know, you just don't see that shit because it's like, you don't do your heroes like that, right? And then I look at, and I know this is kind of getting off topic or whatever, but I'm just go there, right? Like, why does black culture allow our black artists to do that to black icons?
Cannibalize them, yeah.
Like, that's wild that we even allow
There's a
that
reason.
shit.
There's a reason. Someone funded her to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And I would guess that it's your far left. And there's 3 reasons why they've destroyed Dr. Martin Luther King. One, he was against abortion. And they absolutely... The reason why was not because of women's rights. It was because...
Genocide.
Because of where it rooted from.
The lady who started it...
For
Exactly.
Margaret Sanger.
Yeah,
Genocide.
She and no one who talks about abortion ever talks about her. She doesn't talk about her talking at KKK rallies. Her working with Nazi scientists who believed in eugenics.
Yep.
Her literally saying, and there's audio clips of it from the president saying, "We will kill them in mass," and
Eliminate the weeds.
Yeah. And they put all of the abortion clinics, Planned Parenthoods in black neighborhoods. It was only to kill black people.
100%.
And then you tell them that
20 million since 1973.
it's the largest
Reported.
genocide. It's the 36 million, I thought, but largest genocide of any group in the history of the world has been abortion on black Americans.
Yeah.
Recent 100%. Like like recent 100%.
In
I might say the native.
today's world.
I might say like the indigenous American genocide might have been bigger.
Nowhere near.
Because I do.
1.5 million Native Americans died during the entire wars.
See, we say since 1400, 100 million, or over 100 million people were in North and South America. However it goes,
Okay.
that's a whole different.
Are you talking like Aztecs? Like,
Yeah.
You're talking about South America?
I'm talking about North and South America.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
you know,
okay.
North, Central, South.
So
But
like
it does-
Spaniards, that kind of thing?
Yeah. Conquistador, all that shit.
Okay,
But,
okay,
but,
okay.
but no matter what.
But that's why they want to bury him.
Yeah, no,
is
100%.
because
100%.
of
At
those
least
messaging.
20 million. But at least 20 million since 1973. That's just the government stats, right? So you
For
know what's
Native
way-
Americans?
No, sorry. 20 million for black
Oh, for
abortion.
yeah.
For black aborted babies
50%.
since 1973.
Yeah, 50% of black babies are aborted.
100%. And
That's
well, and you're only 8% of the population. Like black women are 8% of the population, do 50% of the
Yeah,
abortions.
men are 7%. Black
It's-
men are 7%.
It's not even. It's
Yeah.
like it's wild.
People always are asking like, why don't like I'm not. I don't care. I think women should vote on abortion, but I think Planned Parenthood should be abolished. And they're like, why do you want to abolish Planned Parenthood? I'm like, you can start new clinics, but it would literally be me like being like, here, I'm going to start a company called the Gestapo SS. And what they did back in the day wasn't a big deal.
Right.
Planned Parenthood was built to kill black babies.
You're
Change the name. Get Margaret Thatcher statues torn down. Like,
right.
if you really want to talk about someone who hated black people,
Sure.
her. And then you just want to defend her and be like, women's rights. She didn't care about women's rights.
She didn't care about it.
She only wanted to kill.
No. They buried that.
No, you're
too.
right. You're right. You're right.
They buried her interviews. Nobody talks about her anymore. And they just disguise it all as women's rights and
They do.
my body, my choice. Well, if it's really about my body, my choice, then how about health freedom too?
Yeah. There's a lot of things that they should be doing, but it's always agendas.
Yes.
And then they pitch it in a different way, and it's like,
Yeah.
they'll bury anyone.
Well, then they just pin everybody against each other, and then it just becomes this big battle and hatred for people who don't agree with you.
Yep.
And
Instead of just talking
about it and being like, oh, why do we disagree? Oh, well, I guess it's okay that we disagree. Hey, you want to go grab pizza? Like who cares about? Yeah.
I was trying to see some of the books that she had done because she has like some crazy books that are like that she wrote. Man, there's just some crazy shit that she wrote. Yeah, she's wild.
Yeah.
She's wild.
Like I said, they tried to bury all that and tried to make it about women's rights. So
I got to meet Rosa Parks.
You met Rosa
Really?
Parks?
I met Rosa Parks, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I met Rosa Parks.
Okay, let me tell you.
Terrible way, but no, I'm just kidding. I shouldn't say that about Rosa Parks. She came and spoke to my school, and I got to meet her in person. She was a really great person. Sorry, your face.
I was like, I didn't even know how to respond. I was like, he said what I think he said.
did.
talking about icons. People are gonna be like, burn him to death.
Oh my gosh.
Burn him.
Okay. So wild story. We were in where were we at? We were in San Antonio, Texas,
Okay.
and we were learning some history. It was one of the Black History museums there. It was awesome. It actually was a San Antonio African American history, some shit. I don't know. It was fucking dope though, and it was this little small little place. You know, really, really like they were supporting themselves off of like one of the alumni of the school we were visiting or something. I do HBCU tours with kids in the summers. We go take a bunch of Black kids to HBCU campuses so they can see like,
I saw the pictures of that.
I'm like, hey, you can fucking go to these places if you want, and they're like historically like for you, like, you know, when they wouldn't let you go to another school, you can go here. So like, go here because it's fucking dope. And like, you don't have to even think about racism or anything like that. Like, nobody's gonna treat you different here. Like, if you don't fucking do good here, like, it's your own fault. Like, you know, there's no fucking excuses here. Like, you're here, you're gonna do great. Like, you have no excuse. So, but anyways, we're in San Antonio, and there was this awesome, they had some of the original seats from where Rosa Parks sat, right? Okay, so the whole thing, there was a Rosa Parks before Rosa Parks.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And she like had gone through the things or whatever, and but they didn't use her as like the key person to like push this progress or whatever, because she was like young, a single mother. She like had a baby out of wedlock, and she was a single mother, and but she had like went through like, you know, like this crazy discrimination on these buses, and like was all the forefront things, but they wouldn't let her be like the face of it because of
being a single mother.
Yeah, like, you know, she was kind of like in the immoral type,
which is sad
thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they picked Rosa specifically because she was like a huge civil rights activist. She was like super involved. She was like, I mean, she was like, you know, like Dr. King, but woman, right? But, you know, women at that time too weren't getting any type of recognition. Like, you know, she was like huge. Like, she should have been speaking at like the Lincoln Mall whole like I Have a Dream speech thing. Like, you know, there were like women that were huge in the movement, but they weren't given that opportunity because it was sexist. Like, I always say this, like, America is a more sexist nation than racist nation, right? Like, I believe that. I mean, to the core, I believe that, right? Like, you pick Obama over Hillary, right? Hillary's horrible.
Obama's a good speaker.
I was wrong. Hillary's horrible. I was wrong. I'll tell that story later. But I have no problem admitting I was wrong. You were right. I was wrong. Trump was better than Hillary. That being said, I was wrong. I was completely wrong. I hate her too, and I should have hated her back then, but I was brainwashed. So I can admit that. Lucas was right. It was a whole Facebook post.
I leave.
No, but for real, because there was a whole Facebook post, and I was just young, dumb, and stupid, and was just like, was brainwashed and spitting stupid shit.
Gosh.
Yeah. I've done that
One
a
of the
couple.
days I was like, just turn your phone
Yeah,
off.
I've done that a couple times on Facebook, and it was wrong. But I'm so glad that Lucas is such a big man. He was like, you know what, Ishma, I'll forgive you for that. Don't trip about that. But I was wrong. He was right. Hillary was better than Trump. Trump was better than Hillary. That was the whole argument. But that being said, but what they do is they continue to push like all of the most horrible, I guess, all the things that are immoral, all the things that are really, really hurting black people. They push on them and saying that's for their benefit. But like I was saying, America is a more sexist nation than racist nation. And I say that because too, like a black person could vote, a black man could vote before a white woman could vote. Like a black man could vote before a white woman could vote in the Constitution, like historically, right? I
They
mean,
weren't
black
even a full person's
Yeah.
vote, but they could vote.
but they could vote, like, in the North, and even during Reconstruction, right, in the South, black people were voting, but not black women. But black men were voting. Black men were being senators, but women in general still couldn't vote.
even vote.
Right, until 1920 or 1919, women suffrage, 1919, 1920, 1921, one of those years. It
Yeah.
was between 1990 and 1921.
After that,
But black men could vote before that. Not saying that in every place they let black men vote. I know the racism was tremendous and horrible and all these. I'm not saying that. But just saying, that's why I stand on that. America's a more sexist nation than racist nation.
Yeah, I would agree.
I would say. That being said, it's so, I think, pivotal, like as men, right, to stand up not only for our daughters and our wives and things, right, but just in general, so that women don't feel like they have to be masculine. And I think that's part of like the problem. Like all these women are like trying to be masculine, I'm independent, I can do this, I can pay the bills, I can do these things. That's because men are failing a lot of times, right? And not only like our men are failing at not taking care of business, like going out there fucking being a breadwinner and taking care of business, but then also they're failing and like telling their wives, like I failed before myself, like telling them like I appreciate you, like you're doing great, like you keep a great household, you're fucking awesome with the kids, and you're a great teacher. And if you don't get those validations, if you don't do your job as a man at home saying those things, then why wouldn't a woman go outside of the home for those validations? Like why wouldn't she say, well, shit, I can't get it here. I need to go out and do these other things. I need to strive to be something else that takes away, you know what I'm saying? I just think there's nothing more important than teaching kids in your household. Like that's the ultimate thing in the world. But if you don't tell your wife that she's doing great, or that she's done a great job, or that she's putting it down or holding it down, then why would she want to feel that thing? So that's what I mean about us being sexist, to where even men aren't giving their women the credit that they deserve.
No, I agree.
And not just saying it, just being fucking out with it and saying it,
Yep.
So, babe, you do a great job.
Thanks.
No, I do a
Way better than the girl in my, way better. When I get canceled for, I did meet her, by the way. But when I get canceled for that Rosa Parks gesture, I will have to move somewhere.
I met Angela Davis.
Really?
Yeah.
She would be awesome.
She was dope. She was so powerful, and but what I loved about when I met Angela Davis is I'm a group of kids as well. She stopped like everything and just talked to the kids and fucking just gave them all the attention in the world. Like shook all their hands, asked them about them personally. You know what I mean? It was so cool. She wasn't like a celebrity, like, oh, I'm Angela Davis and you guys are these people. No, she was like, hey, who are you? All these
That's
cool
amazing.
things. Yeah. It was cool. You know how people like transcend their, there's a lot of things right now I don't agree with Angela Davis about or whatever, but like they trans, like whether it's like the LGBT, like trans issues and things like that, like I don't agree with her on a lot of those things, but she transcends like those opinions just in her personality of like being genuine to people, which is really cool. It's like, when your hero is genuine, that's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to meet my heroes.
Like I said, I met her and she was awesome.
That's
She
amazing.
was fucking.
Usually it's disappointing.
I'm telling you.
Usually you're like, oh, damn.
Damn. Like I met Lupe Fiasco and I was super disappointed.
Really?
Like
Is he a dick?
Oh yeah, he was fucking. But then again too, like it was after a show. He was trying to do something else.
Yeah.
I was trying to get him like, I opened for him. And I was like, like you should respect me. You know what I'm saying? I wanted him to sign my record and shit like that, like unopened record of like a real vinyl. I do vinyl.
Do you still do singing and stuff? Because you
Not really, but
yeah, really.
No, not really. Not really.
Really?
Not really. No. My son and I. The last thing I did musically, my son and I made an album. It's fucking cool. It's great. It's awesome. Like it's like the most proud thing that I have. But like we didn't really do anything.
Okay, gotcha.
Like it's out. Like you can listen to it. It's out. You can listen to it.
Subtitle
All that.
and YouTube.
It's all around.
Yeah.
Ish and ish.
You know, you promised me that you would put me on one of your songs.
Did I?
Yeah, you did.
Damn. Was
I just want. I was
said
like,
that?
I told you I wanted like 10 seconds.
For real?
Yeah.
It's not over, bro.
I need 10
It's not over.
seconds.
It's not over.
He's trying to get Ishmael to
To do another one.
produce some
And
more
so here we
tracks.
do. If we produce
I
another
just
one.
want like 5
No,
seconds.
listen.
Check it off my
Listen, if
list.
we produce another one, you're gonna come tell the Rosa Parks joke.
Oh, fuck. After I said that, I was like, oh, I'm so fucked.
They're like, I
Really?
appreciate comedy. Like, for real. And if you don't appreciate comedy, like, well, fuck you.
Yeah.
Nothing's off limits for me, and that's my problem. I get myself in so much trouble because I'm like, oh, yeah.
Just, you know, yeah, just fuck you. I don't know. Like, I mean, you can cross the line. Like, some people are like, he crossed the line. I'm like, we're fucking having fun right now.
Oh, God.
I don't know. You know, we love this.
I don't apologize.
We
I
love
will never
her.
apologize. I will
But you
never.
really met her. She was at your school and she inspired you.
Yeah, no, she was great. She was awesome. She gave a great speech. And she met with all of us afterwards, which was really cool. Because most of the time they like run them out.
Yeah.
But they were like, if anyone wants to come up and talk with her after she's done speaking. And so like, there was a whole auditorium, but then like there wasn't a lot of us, but some of us got to actually go up and like shake her hand and actually talk to her. And I was really young though. I was like, I remember like 10 maybe, 10 or 11. But she was really cool. She's very old then, but you know, but she was she was really cool though. She had a great story, and I learned about the girl before her, and I feel kind of bad about that girl. I learned about that after I met Rosa Parks, but that was a real whole weird situation too, because she didn't really get any of the credit that she deserved.
No, she didn't.
Yeah.
Which was really weird. It was really weird. Yeah, I didn't get that at all. But it was super wild.
Yeah. No, I don't like meeting people like that I'm fond of. I'm always scared that they're gonna let me down. So you don't meet your heroes. You don't meet your heroes because they're always like end up being monsters. And then it's like the people that you think are gonna be monsters are generally the nicest people. That's why I say if people play heroes in movies, they're monsters in real life. But if they play monsters in movies or TV, then they're awesome in real life.
There you go.
You play your opposite.
There
You
go.
play your opposite. That's really how it goes. Like I always like if anyone's always like, hey, can you act in this? I'll be like, as long as it's a monster. And it's not because I'm like some great person, but like that's what I find interesting. It's like, oh, I want to play like someone evil. That sounds fun.
So what would that be in a movie?
Monster. No, you'd be such a nice guy, Josh. You know, monster in real life. Can we take a quick break?
Look. Here's what I say.
Okay.
Look, we've been going for like a long time. So here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna say, I need everybody to go to bluecollarballistics.com. I need you to buy a hat to have a 1 in 650.
50 chance. Yes.
650 chance to get the best gun that you ever seen in your life. Okay? you need this gun. It's like a $7,000 gun with a scope on it. Okay, you need this gun. Let's go to bluecollarballistics.com and check that out. Also, follow their YouTube channel. Go learn something about guns. See some cool fucking guns. Blue Collar Ballistics on YouTube. Check it out.
Check it out.
It's fucking awesome. Secondly, we want to make sure we thank our folks tonight, Josh, Lucas, for coming through, giving us your time.
Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Seriously appreciate it. It's been fun. Had some good laughs, some good talks. This is what Journey for Two is about. Mm-hmm. You just take a journey with people.
You guys are gonna come shoot with us.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
shoot.
yeah.
I'm doing like I'm kind of
Sure,
gangster.
I'm
So I'm doing
Do it.
2 guns horizontal. You look at Chase.
I'm looking. I want to see it. I want to see it.
Yeah. We'll even shoot a little like 30-second
Yes.
promo.
I want to see
You
that.
go. You do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do slow motion bang bang, Matrix style.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a trench coat. Let's go.
Perfect.
There it is.
I had a great time, guys.
Yeah.
I
did
appreciate
too.
it.
You too. Thank y'all. Hey, be safe with guns. Use your Second Amendment right. Keep talking to people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't forget we're all humans.
Just be nice.
Peace.
Peace.
You are now listening to
Journey for Two podcast. Let's check it out.